Hello and welcome to the Optional Podcast, episode number 76 for the week of June 19th, 2017. As always, I'm Paul Tamayo, and I'm here with my co-host, Cam Brewster.
Hey, guys.
The Optional Podcast is a weekly podcast where we discuss the latest in video games and entertainment. Please be sure to subscribe. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, and YouTube.
All those things.
If you could take a minute to rate and review the podcast as well on iTunes or whatever you're
5
using.
stars.
5 stars, 5 words minimum, so we say. And if you could also donate to our Patreon at patreon.com/theoptional, because our show is 100% listeners supported, so super special thank you to everyone donating, especially our new subscriber, Shambe.
Shambe, hope we're saying that right.
Yeah, I hope we're saying that right. If not,
yes, we see you out here.
Yeah, you're in the Discord too,
cool guy.
Hopefully you'll be joining soon.
Yes.
And to everyone out there listening and watching this week on YouTube, also, like and subscribe on YouTube. We always forget to do that. We're new to YouTube, so
smash that like button.
Be nice to us.
We're trying to be like all those YouTubers messing up Ubisoft conferences.
We're trying to bomb on
We're trying to bomb.
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks, Nick, for having me. Anyway. And thanks for hanging out with us this week. We really appreciate it. So, a lot to talk about this week. It's going to be a jam-packed show. I got on my Uncle Death shades. I'm going to try to see how long I can do this for without going crazy.
How was your trip, Paul?
It was nice. It was real nice. I had a really nice time.
Yeah.
I think overall, good impressions.
Good impressions on what?
Everything.
On everything.
Just
wow.
everything.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I feel real good. I feel like refreshed. I feel like I needed a break from New York for a week. Yeah, so it was nice to get, and also we escaped during a heat wave apparently.
Oh my god! I mean, we came back into it, but whatever.
But what was the hottest I got over there was maybe mid 80s.
Yeah, 83 I think was the.
But
hottest
that sun was brutal though.
I mean, yeah, it was. It was just hot though. It was. There was no humidity added to it.
Yeah,
which I will take that any day
That's
of the
beautiful.
week. Yeah,
that
beautiful.
mugginess.
Yeah,
Here it's muggy
it's
already.
Nasty. It's
gross.
You're sticking to your shirt.
Fucking.
There, you just sweat and you can just duck under a shade and
you're good. You're cool.
You're good. Yeah, you're cool again.
One little breeze comes by, you're done.
It was so breezy out there too. It was nice. Man.
It was very, very nice. So it was our first time traveling to LA.
Yes.
We can kind of. So I had it up in the top of the show notes, but we got a question about it later, so we can talk about the food later because we had some.
Cool.
We ate a lot. But I guess. On the way to LA, I did get a chance to finally check out Logan.
Oh, did you?
Yes, and I cried.
What's the verdict?
It's excellent.
Yeah.
So I heard really good things about it.
Me too.
And I finally got a chance to check it out on the plane, and I did not expect it to hit me that hard. So much so that I actually did cry. I'm proud to admit it. I had to take off my glasses and wipe the tears away, and the woman next to me looked at me like, "Is this guy okay? What happened?"
I just saw him murder mad people.
Yeah, right off the bat, it's super violent. One of the first things he does is he fucking jams his claws through some guy's head. And you see it. They show everything. And I was like, holy shit, this is what I want from a Wolverine movie.
Yeah, word. That's dope, though. I got to check that out.
A lot of Last of Us vibes, but you wouldn't know what that is. So it's not even worth bringing
damn.
up.
Slander at the top of the show. All right.
I'm still kind of hurt about that. I'm still a little heartbroken. But also my first time traveling with the Switch.
Oh yeah, true. How was that experience? I mean, you travel with it every day, though, right?
Yeah, I travel on a day-to-day on my commute. But first time actually on a plane, giving it a chance to try it out, like the way the first commercial did with the on the tabletop thing.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm not that fond of because again the viewing angle isn't so great. I think the right case might make the difference. I think Andy, shout out to Andy in the Discord. Hold on, I'm slacking on my YouTube sound effects.
Drop bombs.
He's got a stand that kind of the viewing angle can rotate nicely. So depending on your
so it's kind of fixed at a upright.
And it's straight kind of.
Yeah,
so
it's a 90 degree.
Yeah, it's not that great. It's almost 90 degrees. I feel like. So it's not that great. But on the way back from LA. On the way there, since I was sitting next to somebody, I didn't have a lot of room. I had to just mainly play it in handheld mode, which is totally fine too. It's a beautiful screen. But then on the way back, whoever was supposed to be sitting next to me didn't show up. So I had 2 seats.
You
for
put
myself.
it on this one spot.
Yeah, I was stretched out. I actually did. At one point, I put it on the other one. I was stretched out. Had it in handheld mode. I think my preferred way of playing it for the most part is handheld. But after a while, it does kind of I do kind of get a little bit of
crampy.
Fatigue. Yeah, so it is nice to just put it down and then
just rest your hands wherever
hands,
you want.
Chill. So
that's cool. It was crazy because we did see a lot of switches out in a while. I mean, E3 you kind of expect that, but it was everybody was pulling them out, which is kind of good to see.
For
everybody really embracing the handheld.
It's nice to see that shit.
It's weird though. I mean, you don't see too many people out with their DSs or anything, but everybody's with their Switches. It was kind of crazy. I was even sitting a guy in my row coming back from LA. He was sitting next to me. He was playing ARMS. He was by the window. I was in the aisle, so I was trying to look over the lady in the middle, come on, let me see.
Creep it. She's like, what the fuck is this guy looking at me for?
But he had like the yellow ones.
Oh, okay.
Like,
damn.
It looked really nice.
Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But yeah, we saw a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
We also got to see some really cool. What was that? These cool TV houses, movie houses.
Yes, we did.
Yes, so
we saw 2 in particular.
You're one of your favorite shows.
Yeah, 6 Feet Under. Me and Yang got a chance to go outside and
did you guys
cry.
get emotional?
We did kind of. We're like, holy shit. At one point, for those who've seen 6 Feet Under, you know the ending is very impactful. I won't give away the ending, but it's like one of the most beautiful things ever to have been created, in my opinion. It kind of wraps up the show, but also like a lot of its philosophies really beautifully and elegantly. Right. And so we were able to point out like that's where this happened and that's where that happened. Pretty cool. And she does that there. So that was nice. But then we also got a chance to see another one.
One of our favorite franchises of all time.
Yes,
probably the greatest American series of all time.
I'd agree. I would agree.
Fast and the Furious. We went to the Toretto house. And
yes.
I don't know why we thought we were going to be the only ones there.
Nope, we were not.
No, it was like mad people, which is, I mean, figures, because it's the greatest movie of all time.
Of course.
Yeah, and we got to like recreate some. I was just screaming at the camera as Toretto.
Yeah, he was saying I didn't knock on nobody.
Yeah, I didn't knock on nobody. You never had me.
Yeah,
you never had your car.
All the hits. No, but it was cool. Like there were like some teenagers there that you could tell their parents just like they were like, please, mom and dad, and like their parents are just in the car waiting, like fucking on their phones.
Yeah.
And if you like the geotag on IG stories, it said like Dom
Toretto's house.
Amazing.
Because they know it's a force.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't front on fucking Fast and Furious. You can't.
No,
it's impossible.
It's impossible. But yeah, so we got to see that, and then. What else did we do? Besides that, we did get a chance to meet. So we went to E3.
Yeah. If you don't know, if you didn't see last episode.
If you're new to the show, we went to E3. We got a chance to go to E3. And I guess overall, it was a good experience, but we did get to meet some stars out there.
Yeah, like our first day at the Microsoft conference, we sit down.
Yeah.
And we're pretty close to like the stage, which was really cool. It was really cool. Great spectacle. And then I'm like on Twitter. And one of our inspirations, Jeff Kanata, he tweeted, he was like, oh, like I'm pretty close to the stage. And from that, I was able to be a creep and like reverse engineer like his angle. And I figured out like, I was like, oh, that's the guy he's in front of. And he was like right there. He was like right in front of us.
Right, the row next to the row.
It was insane. From us, like, so we were like, oh, we got to get a chance to see him. So after the show, he just kind of dipped, and we were like kind of bummed out, to be honest. Like we were like, damn, we really wanted to pass him some like cards and stickers and shit.
I'll just be like, yo, we're fans. You know? Like I met him before, but he probably doesn't remember. Right. It was like 8 years ago. I was on the Totally Rad show.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, so he wouldn't remember that.
Yeah,
you remember episode 79? I was like, he's not gonna remember that shit.
It's like, yeah, sure, get out of here, kid. Yeah, and then we were like, fuck it, whatever. So we went to go get food, and as we're walking to get food, crossing the street, I'm like, oh shit, it's Jeff Kanata.
And I missed him completely. And we're in the middle of the street in LA, like a 5-lane road or whatever, or 4-lane road. And then he's like, oh hey, what's up guys? And we introduced ourselves, and I was like, hey, let's go to the corner.
Yeah, we were just standing in the crosswalk. Like, he was like, yeah, we were like just chilling, and he like was kind enough to speak to us. So thank you so much.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, we'll see you around because we're gonna get bigger and bigger.
You're gonna see more of us. I guarantee it. But yeah, it was really nice to see him. I also got the chance to meet Per Schneider from IGN.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. He was like nice enough to stop and say hello, shake our hands and stuff.
Their booth was actually really impressive. Theirs and GameStop's are like right across the street from each other.
Yeah, they had like a nice little setup, couches and shit.
Super nice. Maybe we'll get there one day. And we also saw Austin Walker.
Yeah, he was passing us. We were standing like on the outside, and we kind of saw everybody there. It was weird.
If you stand still at E3, you're guaranteed to see people.
I saw some people. Like I saw one of the actors on Arrow. We saw Dashie walk by his crew. Like,
shout out to Dashie.
It was pretty cool. Like,
I saw some cosplayers that I follow on Instagram, but of course, in the moment, I can't remember their names.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing about E3.
She did
it's
Farah.
like,
oh, she did whatever, Zelda.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little awkward, but I mean, you don't want to just go up like, hey, I like you.
Yeah, I like you on Instagram. And it's like, oh well, that's weird. But yeah, otherwise it was really cool.
Just scream YouTube at them. YouTube!
Yeah, YouTube man! A woman. But yeah, otherwise, we can just kind of quickly go into what we've been playing.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we jump into all of our E3 impressions. But I mean, some of it sort of relates to it. I mean, a lot of what we've been playing deals with E3, so we'll get into it later. But I also, when I got home on Thursday night, Was it Thursday night? I'm so blanked out.
Friday night. Yeah.
I got a chance to check out the E3 sale on PS4. I don't know if you checked that out yet, but there are a lot of good games on sale for dirt cheap.
Yeah, I didn't boot up my PS4 yet.
It might still be going on. I think it's till the 20th, I believe. I could be wrong.
Oh, that's cool.
But I did buy Wolfenstein for dirt cheap for $10.
Oh, so you got your little bug in there. You got a little hype, right?
Yeah. Right, so cool. Some E3-ness got me a little hype.
I might do that.
Yeah, you should check it out. And also, Battlefield 1 is like dirt cheap. So if you don't have that,
buy it.
They have like the package one too with like the season pass.
Buy it and play with me and Josh.
Word.
Gotta get back into that.
But other than that, like we kind of mentioned at the top of the show, I got back into Zelda.
Back into
Did
you ever leave?
Yeah, I did actually.
What are you talking about?
So for a while, I stopped playing Zelda. I was like, I'm done. I beat the game.
Yeah.
But then I also found out that there's a secret ending if you don't get all the memories. So I got all the memories. So I started playing on the plane because I was like, you know what? I need something like to relax me, calm down. So I threw that on because I first of all made the mistake of playing Thumper 30,000 feet in the air.
That's bugging.
And I was like,
I already have panic attacks on planes, so I can't imagine.
Don't ever do that, guys. It's not a pleasant experience. Also, it was like dark because everyone had the windows down.
Yeah.
So all you saw was like the flashes from my Switch. Even though I turned the brightness all the way down, it was still like. So I can't do that anymore. So I switched over to Zelda, and it's still incredible. It's still my game of the year so far. Nothing's coming close.
Mario's gonna smash that.
We'll see, because that bar is so goddamn high.
It really is.
So yeah, I got to playing that again. I started doing a lot of the side quests. I've discovered new places I missed in my first 140 hours of the game.
Yeah.
And then because ARMS came out the day we were heading back, that midnight I kind of downloaded it, or that morning I think I downloaded it before we left for our flight, and played a ton of that on the plane. I played a ton of it last night. I was streaming it.
So what do you think so far?
I'm really, really into ARMS.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm surprised that no one's really talking about it on Twitter. I'm getting a lot better.
So, sorry to cut you off, but like, how are the controls like as handheld? Like, are you getting used to that?
I love it as handheld. What sucks is I took it off at one point, the Joy-Cons, just so I could like sort of relax. But once you take them off, it only registers them as motion.
Oh, that kind of sucks. So you have to use the like Pro controller or
the Pro controller. Yeah. So it wasn't that big of a deal. So I played it on the plane. I still much prefer the buttons and joysticks as opposed to the motion controls. Mm-hmm. I did play it yesterday for a brief amount of time with the motion controls on. And it feels good. It's fine. It does the trick. I'm sure people out there are going to love them, but for me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that well. And also, I realized I was playing it here, and we had just turned the AC on. It was a little muggy yesterday. And like within like 10 minutes, I was sweating. It was too much work.
It's too much, yeah.
And I was sitting down. It feels a lot better when you stand up to do it, but it's still like a very active thing. And I don't know. I just like, sometimes I just want to relax and play games. I don't want to have to be like fucking doing cardio.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem, especially like in a hot New York apartment.
Yeah. And also like when you get your like ultimate or whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called in ARMS, but when you unleash it with the fucking motion controls,
you have to go crazy.
You gotta swing, but then I could just be like,
yeah.
So I'm like much rather do that. And also I just feel like a little more in control with the Pro controller, and I'm much better. Like my win rate is much higher, even though it's not that high.
Yeah.
But I kind of like you mentioned at the show. We'll talk about it a little later. This just came out. It's a new fighting style. It's a new kind of genre. Not a genre, but like a new format. And I want to kind of get into the ground floor. I want to like get with it while it's still good.
Yeah, exactly.
Same way with Overwatch. I was like new. That was kind of very new to me. I didn't really play a lot of Team Fortress 2. So for me, Overwatch was still
that
really
style,
new.
Yeah. And if you stick with a game, like it's harder to like just jump into a game, right? When it's already established, because people are just going to be better than you. That's just a fact. But if you start with a game coming up after all the patches, a year later, you're going to be like, all right, I know how it was. I know what they improved. I know what I want them to bring back.
Exactly.
You can speak on all that stuff.
That's how it was like with Symmetra. Like I was so good with Symmetra pre-buff that I was like, when I got the buff, I was like, fuck, I'm invincible. Even better now. Yeah, like you can't touch me now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to. So the same way I was into like your Overwatch videos and like all these YouTube videos that are like showing you like instructions or like tips and tricks. I'm probably gonna do the same thing with ARMS because it also has a very similar art style in my opinion, and I think it's a gorgeous game. I think it like completely amazing what they've been able to squeeze out of the Switch with that game in particular. The fact that it's 1080p and running at 60 frames per second. Even like little things, like little details, like with character face animations and like the switch between, no pun intended, between like their CGI art and then like their character, their in-game character. It looks so similar. I love that. Same way with Overwatch.
Right.
And the crowds in the background too. I notice in like most sports games, crowds are always typically horrendous.
Cardboard.
There's that dude in 2K who walks up the stairs and then he turns down and walks back down the stairs. It's like, who's that serial killer doing cardio? But in ARMS, they look really good. They look like actual people like cheering for you. It looks really animated and quirky, very Pixar-like.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm really, really liking this game overall. I will say though, there is one character last night on the stream. Even you can check it out. Like I must have faced him like 20 times. And I could not beat him. It's the Bark and Bite. I still haven't figured out his like fighting style. It might also just be that, but for everyone else, I can kind of figure out their fighting style relatively quickly. But with him in particular, he has a little dog companion that'll every once in a while will jab you and interrupt your fighting style.
Have you played as him?
No, I haven't.
Do that.
I should probably do that. Yeah.
You can kind of go back. Yeah. To be like, all right, well, I know his limitations and I know what he's weak against. So you can be like, well, open up the right side or whatever.
Yeah.
So you might find that might be your character.
Yeah, man, that might be. I felt that way a lot about certain Overwatch characters too, and then I grew to like them.
Right.
But in this case, I've played with 4 of them so far. So I've played with the snake dude. I don't know their names yet, but the snake guy, hockey dude, he's a really cool character design. Ribbon Girl, which is like my main at the moment. That might change. I've also played with Springman, who's like just kind of like middle of the road.
How's the movie star girl with the hair?
She's dope. She's great. Yeah, she has like this ability where she can kind of stay in the air for a second, which is really useful because it's always useful to get a kind of height advantage.
Right.
And the last person I played with, I forget, but otherwise it's been like a really fun time. Like I mentioned to you before off the show, but I think that the true testament of a game that I really enjoy, like Overwatch, for example, is even if I'm losing, I'm still having fun. Right. Or Rocket League, if I lose, it's not like the greatest feeling, but I still
you can still go for it. Yeah,
like you can still kind of have a good time. And this game definitely has that. It also has that like really satisfying like vibration or the HD rumble every time you land a punch or you land a grab or something,
you feel
or the
like
knockout or the super. It feels so gratifying. But overall impressions so far, I'm really enjoying it. I hope it continues to grow. I will say I am disappointed that volleyball and basketball is still kind of included in the mix online, which is always a break in the
Oh, so it's the same kind of setup?
Yeah.
So it's always a medley of shit?
Yeah, and one of the medleys that they include, which is really hard and it's not the most fun either, is like a 3v1 cooperative like AI mode where it's like you and 2 other people are fighting this one super overpowered character. That's kind of fun, I guess, but again, like part of the reason why I like ARMS, even like the frenetic like 4 free-for-all, like 4-player free-for-all, even that can be a little overwhelming sometimes, but
at least
I'm still fighting people. Part of the thing is like watching my right side, left side, and then also reading their movements and like knowing there's a lot of depth to this game that I didn't realize after having played just a 1-hour test punch.
Oh, esports.
Yeah, it could be. I think it could be. At E3 too, they were showing people playing it like on the huge screens on the stage, which was actually a lot of fun. And I could see myself really getting into it. But there's a lot of depth there in terms of like when someone's blocking, that rock paper scissors mechanic of like I can grab someone who's blocking, I can't punch them, but like that kind of stuff. And then also knowing when they have a super, when to fall back, when to play defensively, when to like if they punch and they miss, that's your opportunity to go in, or like. If they, there's a lot of depth there. Also in the kind of preparation for a fight, if you know you're going to go up against a Mechanica or like the cop dude.
You can set up that way.
Yeah, you can set up your arms to reflect that.
Is it just the default arms, like the 3 different options, or do you unlock more?
Oh, yeah. So each character has their own sort of unique ones. Like I think like base default ones. And then over the course of the game, depending on how many wins you get and online and offline, you still get a currency if you lose, but you get less. But you get this currency that you build up that you can then apply to a mode called like Get Arms, which is essentially like an interactive loot box simulation type thing. So you go into this like little arena where these targets pop up and you have to kind of hit the targets. And then based off of how many targets you hit, and then like the little timer. You have to like it's a countdown timer. Every once in a while they'll drop a loot box or like a little package, and it'll have like an icon of the character who it's for, and you have to like try to hit it from down the aisle.
So you just get it.
So you unlock it, yeah, and so like you can go for a long stretches of time if depending on how many like watches you hit, so you can extend the time. So it's kind of fun. It's a more fun way of like doing the loot box thing, but it's essentially the same fucking thing. So that's kind of disappointing. So sometimes you'll unlock shit for characters you don't play as, but I think it's smart in the sense that like it'll encourage players to try other characters, sort of the way Overwatch does.
Right.
So it's kind of a long-winded impressions of
awesome.
ARMS. But,
it just came out, so we expect that.
Yeah,
I want to hear more about that shit.
It's good. I really I'm going to be playing more of it tonight. I'm probably going to play more of it tonight just to capture footage for things that I talked about. But streams too, man. Check us out on the streams. What have you been playing?
Well, last night is the only thing I've played. But Little Nightmares, I finally beat it. Nice. I had put that game aside, and I was like, I remember we were talking before we took off a couple nights ago, and I was saying I want to go through. E3 kind of inspired me to kind of clear out my cache of games.
Right.
So I'm gonna definitely start going through and just start beating the story games.
Okay.
I'm gonna start like clearing them out. So Little Nightmares was the easier one to like conquer, but I mean the game is really good.
Nice.
I think it was Bandai Namco who makes this.
Oh really?
And, yeah.
Interesting.
Basically, I mean, we talked about it before. It's about a little girl going through this like prison type situation. You come across these grown-ups that want to kill you for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's horrifying, man. It's grotesque. It's really horrifying. It's good though. It's really fun. If you like Limbo, if you like what was the second one?
Get Out.
Get Out. You like that movie? Watch that movie. It's great. Inside. Yes, Inside, which was like my game of the year last year. You'll like this one.
Nice.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't on. Well, it was good. I think it was in between. So I would probably say like Inside's my favorite, then this, and then Limbo.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
I mean, that's like a great company to be in.
Yeah. No. Definitely. I like this like vein of games, like these like puzzle, really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one seems really
kind of open-ended games. You don't know what's actually happening.
Right.
You never really get a conclusion.
I like that.
Yeah, I love that shit. I had a lot of fun with that. I'm definitely gonna play it again because I missed some achievements, and just by the titles of them, you're like, really? Oh wait, I think I know what I gotta do. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back and try to mess with that.
Nice.
But let's just jump into it, man.
Yeah, let's jump right into some of our E3 chat. So we definitely got a chance to talk about the EA and Xbox conferences. So if you're on YouTube,
go check those out.
I'll put links in the description. You can check those out on their own. And if you're on the podcast, it's just like literally the episode before this one. So we didn't get a chance to talk about Sony. So Sony happened actually like while we were stuck in LA traffic on the highway on our way to get some KBBQ. I think that was the day we went out with. Was that the night we went out with Esther and them?
No. I think it was the night before.
Was it? What did we eat that night? I forget what we ate. We got. We'll think about it.
No, didn't we have Chinese that night?
No, because we record. That was the day we recorded. We were on our way to get food. I know that's for a fact.
Oh, okay. We were always on our way to get food.
Yeah, for real. Half the trip was just food, and that was not at the convention.
Yeah, I know.
Because that convention food was way too pricey and doo-doo.
Oh, my God.
But
I'll tell you about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But, so we were stuck in traffic, and then I remember the Discord freaking out. Nelson was like, yo, Paul, are you excited? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Cody was hitting me up.
Yeah.
He was like, what do you think about it? I was like, stop, I'm not.
I was like, what are you talking about? But then sure enough, I found out Monster Hunter is coming to PS4. We're kind of jumping out of order here, but that was what happened. We'll talk about it a little later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Uncharted Lost Legacy was kind of first to show up, and we know about this game, we know it exists.
Right.
The trailer, I'm sure you've seen at this point, but we got a chance to get a behind closed doors demo of the game
at E3.
At E3. So it was kind of a developer walkthrough. They just played a level.
Was that day 1 or 2?
Day 1 actually.
That was day 1.
So we were like walking around, and it was towards the end of the day, and like usually you have to make appointments to see the thing, and we just happened to walk by. They're like, "You want to come watch this?" And we're like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, sure.
Got a free tote bag and shit.
Yeah, it was nice.
So we got a chance to see it, and what did you think?
I thought it looked great. I haven't played these games all the way through, but I have seen. You get the game. It's more of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's taking away from it without Nathan.
Yeah.
It's bringing back old characters, which is cool.
Yep.
And I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm excited for the fans of the franchise. Like, it's just more of that. If you like Uncharted, you're gonna love this.
Yeah, same. I feel the same exact way. I feel like it's a really smart way to continue the franchise without making it just about Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
And it's also about characters that are really dope. I think in a lot of ways. I think there's a lot of characters there that we've grown to love that you can kind of explore.
Yes.
Their stories. And I remember reading that this was supposed to be DLC, and then they wound up saying, you know what, we're gonna make it its own game.
Good on them.
Yeah, it's a smart decision. And the demo we saw was, like you said, it's just more Uncharted. Like the kind of things you grow to expect from Uncharted.
It looks amazing, man. I mean,
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like the best parts of Uncharted. That's what we saw. It was just like crazy.
It's like Naughty Dog. I mean, you know what to expect.
Jumping behind cover, jumping over waterfalls and shit in the midst of a battle.
I'm probably not gonna be as good as the guy who was demoing it.
Yeah, he was killing it.
But it looked really good, looked really fluid. There were moments where, like, really action-packed moments where I forget her name, the main character.
Oh, but she's from 2. She was like the second player. Yeah, part 2.
But Nadine, who I remember from 4, who I actually really enjoyed, she's also another character in the game. One of the other
She's
main
one
characters.
of your companions in the game.
Yeah, and there are moments where she comes in and she saves you. Like, she'll come out of nowhere and beat the hell out of a dude. And then you're like swinging through stuff. So it's basically like, just more Uncharted, but it looks
Grappling hook is back,
good.
So that's awesome.
and there are moments you go to expect where, like, you'll jump on something and then of course it falls apart and then you're sliding down a thing and it's just like action after action, like packed moment.
The game is really good for that.
It just flows so well.
The set pieces are amazing in that game.
And the acting is so good. The voice acting, everything about it is just like more
it's beautiful.
Like,
it looks great.
I'm definitely gonna pick it up. Like, I don't see it's not something that I'm like super like crazy about playing, but it's definitely something that I'm gonna check out for sure.
Yeah.
And then we saw, just kind of going through everything. We're gonna like breeze over a couple things that we didn't really get hands-on time with, or we just don't really care about. Right. So we saw some Horizon DLC. So for those of you who like that game, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I gotta finish that game too. Yeah. So I mean, that's cool. If I finish it and I feel like it's good, then I'll get this. So.
I mean,
it's always good to have more content in a game, especially since you paid money for it already.
Yeah, that's true.
Monster Hunter World. They showed this off at E3 at the Sony conference, and it looked amazing.
It looks incredible.
Right?
It's like everything we've always wanted.
Right.
And they were like, oh, everything you want, we can do that.
We can do that.
Yeah, here you go.
So we were like already hyped about it.
Yeah.
Then our second day at E3, we were like, we got to get a hands-on demo with this. So kind of the way they have you do it through Sony is like you have to download an app. It's called the PlayStation Experience app. And then basically how you buy shoes nowadays, you kind of got to like smash the button.
Yeah, smash that like button.
Yeah, to get like they give you like time slots. Mm-hmm. And they have the number of slots open left. And then you can only do that for like the first half of the day. You have to do it from 9 o'clock. And then you just have to, it's kind of free for all.
Yeah.
So at 9, everybody's just crashing the servers.
Yep.
And you just got to keep hitting that button. And we got into this one the second day. We got in for the first slot. And then we got stuck in traffic.
And we missed it.
And we were fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And then the third day, we actually got a slot for it.
Was it the third day?
Oh, yeah, the last day we actually got to go see it.
But it was worth it.
And it was 100%
It was super worth it.
it.
So they had 4 of the developers on stage, sort of like these 4 Japanese dudes, and they had the PS4 controllers. And then they had one guy kind of hosting it, sort of like narrating. So like, all right, so now Mr. Whatever is going to go and do this now. Yeah. And it was kind of fun. They had it was like scripted dialogue.
Stuff, but
like, oh, I thought he was more courageous than that, huh, guys? Like, don't you want to see this happen? And then people were like, yeah. But I will say, I'm never one to be like, we always joke about the kids dabbing in the audience. Yeah. But this game, I was like, oh shit! Yeah!
We were kind of freaking out by it because he's going through a level. He has to hunt this monster, and he's showing off all the cool shit you can do. And then at one point, he just shoots a flare into the sky, calls in 3 of his buddies, and they come and they destroy.
Yeah, they wreck this monster. So
it's just so good, though.
But there were little things too. So it obviously looks gorgeous because it's Capcom and they're on PS4 finally with proper hardware. And then you see them kind of walking by, but they were little things that we noticed that now every time you want to pick something up, you just hit circle and you keep moving.
Yeah, as you're running, you can do it. If you want to do potions or anything like that, you can do that as you're moving.
Which is fucking you can eat while you're walking.
You can eat while you're walking.
So there are things that they sped up the little minute processes that will make it easier for people who are new to the series.
You don't have to dip out to another area just to take a drink and come back. You can just do that shit.
Yeah. Or just stop go through that same animation of you don't have to duck in order to speed up the process of gathering honey or whatever. You just hit 5 times and you're good. But then, like you mentioned, he shoots a flare out, and then his friends drop in immediately into the like mid match, which was impossible on the 3DS. So you had to come with me at the start of the mission or you just had to wait.
Yeah, and if you get kicked out during it, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. So this one they just dropped mid combat, and then one of the guys walks. So they switched the screens over to the guy who was like the archer, which was dope because like I kind of like appreciated that part of the demo. He goes by this sort of like dam that was set up, and he drops a bomb, and he's like, "What are you doing? You're dropping a bomb. What's it?"
Yeah, he's like planting bombs by this like old rotted kind of wood.
Yeah,
and they're in this like little basin, like at the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
And he sets off the fucking bomb, and like a river just like explodes and like
carries all of them off of the edge.
Them and the two monsters down off of the edge.
Yep.
And then the monsters are stunned. They're on the ground like hurt.
I was blown away.
Yeah, we were like, what?
Holy shit. Like so this is like Levolution.
It was insane.
Promised us.
Because this whole time during the demo, he's like running up this big tree, right? Trying to like lower the monster up to the top. And you clearly like, they have something planned. But I did not expect that at all.
Because I mean, it's that's never happened before, to my knowledge, in a Monster Hunter series. So then on top of that, what I think is worth noting is that they made a conscious effort to emphasize the fact that the game world itself has its own systems and AI systems in place where like there is a hierarchy of like a food chain. So there were moments where they were fighting this one monster and another one would appear and then they would start fighting like Godzilla style and you just kind of had to sit back.
Or you can just like pick them off
pick a side, like who do you want to support and who do you want to like defend.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That's a really good analogy actually.
It
really was like Godzilla.
And there was like a moment where also you can choose not to fuck with them either if they're like docile enough. Like they were just walking by and then one showed up, it swallowed up one of the other monsters whole
and just walked
walked away. And then later on you encounter it again and it was like feeding, it was like baby birding it to like the other smaller creatures. So there's like this ecosystem in place that like, and you have like these like fireflies that kind of assist you in some ways.
They like can sense monsters now, so you don't need to like paint the monster anymore. Anybody who's a fan of this game is going to love it because it seems like they streamlined the best parts of it. And the animations, the upgrades and animations are ridiculous. Like the sword play, it's so cool. Like the way that you just handle everything, even the archery. Yeah, it looked insane. You see him like pull the bow and like really. I mean,
even the archery. I was telling Cam like after we saw the
he never was
demo,
a fan of it, right?
I was never a fan of it, but like now that I can play it on a proper controller with like proper thumbsticks, I might consider doing like long range weapons.
How many weapons did they say you can like use?
I forget. It was like a double digit number.
Like the classes of weapon. It was it was like 18 or something like that. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like,
it's usually like 5 or 6. Yeah.
It was amazing. I was a huge fan of it, of the demo at least, and and they were like, yep, early 2018, and then my heart kind of broke a little bit, but I was like, I'll wait.
I mean, it'll be worth it though, for sure. I mean, we have a lot on our plate as we will get to.
That's for damn sure. And then next up on the conference at least, we got they showed off the Shadow of the Colossus remake, which I don't think anybody was expecting. I was definitely not expecting that. I'm happy about it. Like I'm very, very happy about it. Like I think that people need to play more of like Famitsu. Wait, shout out.
Oh shit! Nice.
I feel like this is great. It looks beautiful. It's like a complete rehaul. It looks like, and
it looks amazing.
Cool. Yeah. Sweet.
More of that.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I did get a chance to play the story demo on PS4. Okay, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, if you're into this, I hear this is where it's at.
Yeah.
I've never been the biggest Marvel's Capcom fan. I played 2 a lot on Dreamcast, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that it's here because I'm really into fighting games right now, and this just gives me more shit to watch. So
that's true too. I mean, I definitely from a watching perspective, it's cool.
Exactly.
Call of Duty World War II, cool.
More Call of Duty.
Skyrim VR. I think that was kind of a nice surprise for everyone. It does seem like it's a timed exclusive. I think it eventually will be going to other.
Yo, this game came out in 2008, bro.
And they're still releasing.
They're still fucking milking this shit.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's pretty wild. I mean, it looks cool. I guess
2008, 2010, something like that. Yeah.
Another reason to kind of justify your VR purchase.
Yeah, for real.
And then
I kind of got excited for this. It was Final Fantasy 15.
This looks stupid.
Not 15. 17. Is that the hell?
Oh no, 15.
No, 15. Yeah,
I wrote the wrong shit.
I was like, what? Final Fantasy 15 Monsters of the Deep VR. So basically, you're playing as Noctis.
Yeah.
And you're fishing, which is my favorite part of Final Fantasy 15.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Is it that good?
It's fun.
Okay.
It's a fishing game. You get lures, you get new rods.
Should better be like $15.
Well, but it's VR though. So you're like, it's like a proper fishing game.
No, it should be $15. I don't give a damn.
No, I mean maybe. I don't know. But you fight these big monsters. Like you get big fish and big dragons and shit.
Monster fishing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, I think it's pretty.
Monster fisher.
Imagine playing this on the Vives. I don't know. Or PS.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
PSVR. I don't know.
PSVR. And then Moss VR, or Moss called, which is kind of this game where you're helping this little mouse kind of get across this.
Yeah, I don't know if you're playing as the mouse or if you're just helping it.
Yeah, I
think that was unclear, but
it's a cool implementation of VR though. Like I feel like it's cool to be this being or like this spirit or something that's helping this thing come.
Yeah, it looked really cute. It kind of reminded me of what was that mouse with the little sword?
Oh,
it's a French mouse, not Ratatouille.
Yeah, that's my first thought.
But there's a different one.
Ratatouille.
Devereaux or some shit like
yeah.
Devereaux.
Oh,
yeah.
Devereaux.
Devereaux.
So that's cool. God of War. Can we talk about God of War? We did not get. I mean, it wasn't there on the show floor to play, to my knowledge.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. It looks amazing.
I can't wait to fucking play this game.
It looks cool. I don't know how they're doing this on a graphical level. It looks really like mind blowing. The fact that like we came from a conference talking about like 6 teraflops and all this shady shit, and then you're like God of War on a base. Like it's gonna look like that on a PS4.
Regular?
Yeah, regular.
Regular?
With like how many teraflops?
Yeah, no. It looked really cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can look that up, but it's so nice.
Oh man.
I'm
so ready for
more
this.
of that shit. Ares.
I also appreciate the fact that it's like it looks like it's going to be a sort of mushy story in terms of like father son. Also, it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Kratos.
Jay, we see you.
Jay, oh, yeah, Jay too. Not this fictional character.
I'm like, yeah, Jay.
He's like, Jay, I'm like, Kratos.
So yeah, that's kind of dope. I mean, this game looks incredible. It's definitely going to be a banger. I don't see it like.
It's gonna be good.
Detroit Become Human was also on the show floor. We tried to get a behind closed doors demo on it, but it
was kind of impossible.
I did hear, however, that it's actually really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, like a demo, it was like the playable demo at E3 was of what we kind of saw last year, of you kind of piecing together this little crime scene,
right?
And then you use that to make your next decision of the actual confrontation. Okay. So he has like the robot has the android, I should say, has the girl held hostage on the edge of the roof.
Right.
That's what we saw last year. This year they showed what's his face?
Jesse Williams.
Jesse Williams.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. His character like kind of like being the revolutionary for these androids.
How did you feel about
that? That didn't really draw me in. It actually kind of made me like, that doesn't look as good as I.
Yeah.
Not even just the look wise, it just didn't seem interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that before.
I feel like we have seen that before, but I do appreciate that it seems like it's going to be different stories told throughout, which I like.
So like after the thing when they showed the gameplay, I was like, oh, that looks really cool.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I definitely want to get my hands on it. So
for sure. I mean, I've liked their previous work, so I'm gonna definitely check this out. I think every time they release something, it's always pretty important, at least for interactive storytelling. And then Spiderman, last but not least, Spiderman. So we got a chance to see the same demo that they showed at the conference, but this time it was with a little better combat, a different combat.
Yeah.
And even a slightly different movement, because he didn't hit the same beats that they did on the conference, but he went like on different alternate routes,
which was kind of cool.
Yeah, and the movement looks incredible, yo. Like the way he runs on wall, the buildings.
If you're into like the Arkham series,
oh yeah,
like that style of like planning out your attack and then multiple enemies at once. But with Spider-Man? Yo, this game looks amazing.
It looks so good.
It looks really sick.
And they ended it the same way they did with the entire PS conference, which is like the two characters on the street, and then he's like, "Yo, Miles, come on!" And it's like, "Oh shit, is this Miles?"
So I mean, that would be cool. I wonder what kind of part he's gonna take in it, or is that just like
is he Spider-Man?
No,
you don't think so?
Maybe they started. So what I think, this would be really cool, is if they started it with Peter. Kill him off like in the comics, and then Miles takes the reins.
Do you have the balls?
Do you have the balls to do it? We'll see. Afro Latinos stand up.
Let's get it. And then next up, Nintendo had their direct. I think it was like on Tuesday morning or whatever. Like and right off the bat, they put their dick on the table.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Yo, you know Mario?
Teraflops? dick of flops.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna flop my dick on this table. And yo, check out this Mario trailer running on an Android tablet. Bro, god damn.
This game looks amazing. But you...
Yes, I got some hands-on time, hence the sick visor I got. And I got a pin that I'm definitely putting on my bag.
Paul had that on at E3.
Yeah, I had it over my other hat. I was not playing games. I mean, I was playing games, but
you were.
I remember when we first walked into the Nintendo E3 booth. It was overwhelming how many people were inside.
What did I say to you? It's like
you're like, nope.
I'm not.
You were like, I'm not doing this. And like within like 5 minutes, Cam was out.
I dipped. I was like, I'm gonna go see some shit else.
So I realized that at the Nintendo booth they had a decent amount of like switches that like in portable mode. So they were like probably along the sides. They were probably like 6 or so. And then in the main area, there were probably, I want to say like, I don't know, 30 or 40, which was a decent amount of TV set up.
Yeah.
And then behind each TV there was a line, but it was not made clear at all. So I was just like kind of walking by, and then I see like a line of like 5 people or so. And then I was like, hey, are you in line is this the end of the line for this TV? And he goes like, yeah. So I like hopped on that line immediately. So I wound up only waiting for like about an hour. Yeah. The next day, however, we realized that they had like barricaded it all off.
Yeah, they were like, we got our shit together.
Yeah, like you couldn't just do that. So
because it was pandemonium.
A lot of people were trying to play Mario, but they had a lot of booth setup.
Yeah, I think they had their shit kind of together. Maybe not for the other games.
Yeah, like
for the Mario stuff, it was cool.
Yeah.
But for everything else, it was kind of a mess. You hopped on as well with
Mario. Well,
let's go into this first.
Yeah, so the Mario demo, they had 2 worlds on display. They had the like a sand world, which is they kind of showed before with like Mario with a sombrero and like a poncho kind of running around. So I played that world because the other option was New Donk City, which I've seen a ton of already. I didn't want to see any more. So the sand world that I played was really dope because they had the portion of the demo that they showed on the treehouse where you can kind of go into the wall and then play like 2D portions, like Mario 8-bit 2D, which I think is like incredible.
It's insane.
But as soon as I got there, my time ran out. But other than that, like the controls felt so solid. Like the fact that you can kind of like possess a telephone or electricity pole
and then become electricity.
And just become electricity. And I was throwing my head at everything. Like you could also waggle it to do it, but I just wound up hitting Y because it was just a lot easier. I'm also just like not a fan of motion controls for the most part. But yeah, man, this game
looks mad fun.
Was my favorite by far. It's so beautiful. The fact that it's like again running at 60 frames and like really gorgeous looking, incredible art style, and it's just Mario. It's just like really great Mario. It reminds me of. It does really remind you of like kind of. I love Super Mario Sunshine. I kind of fall in that camp when it comes to that game, and of course I obviously love me some Mario 64, and it's very reminiscent of that, whereas like nothing is like Mario World or 3D Land where it's all kind of cordoned off and it's like level beginning to end. This is just like they throw you in and hey, there's a star there, go get it. There's a star here, wherever, like
figure it
all out. So I loved it. I freaking loved it. So Nintendo also showed off their new Kirby game, which I think looks really, really cool. Kirby. Side scroller, looks really good. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 giving you that kind of JRPG fix, especially on the Switch, which is good on the go. Which I've never been into Xenoblade Chronicles, but
me neither. I know there's a lot of people out there that love the franchise. So.
But I mean, I might consider it if it's on the Switch. I'll probably check it out. They showed the new Yoshi game, which is kind of like a cardboard aesthetic, which I think is really, really clever. They're kind of continuing down that path of like handcrafted material world art styles.
Looked cool. Looked like it was multiplayer as well.
Yeah, it's also like really clever in the sense that certain enemies, like there was like a rhino I saw that was made up of that like really hard cardboard that has like the
little ridges.
Structure.
Yeah,
like,
structure.
It's just like really clever and beautiful. And then of course, the optional game of the year, was it 2014 or 2015? Rocket League is coming to the Switch, which is fucking incredible. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yes!
It makes sense.
Makes total sense.
Total fucking sense.
And then we're going to have like some Mario-themed DLC or Nintendo-themed DLC, so it's going to have like a Mario hat and shit like that.
If you can do the split screen on one Switch.
I'm sure you can.
Right?
They have to do that. That's
right?
the best way to like show people you gotta play this game, dude. It's so good. But even just like the idea of getting together with a couple other people, even if it's 3 other people, and just playing some of that. I'm just you know how I feel about this game already.
I mean, we played a lot of that shit.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for that. So they also showed off Metroid Prime 4 logo.
The typeface.
Just the logo, yeah, just the typeface, and everyone was like, "Oh my god,
yeah, take me!"
I feel like a lot of that, along with I forgot to include in the show notes, that with the announcement of a proper Pokemon console game for the Switch. those two announcements were like, okay, fanboys, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
we're
we got
working
you.
on it.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to make these
games.
things. Just calm down and play ARMS.
Yeah.
But then they also showed off, in the meantime, there's going to be a new 3DS Metroid.
Not one, but 2 Metroid games. That's insane because we haven't had one in so long.
And it looks good. It actually looks really dope.
I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, that classic sort of Metroid style. I forgot to mention that the Metroid Prime is going to be sort of that, continuing that legacy of the first-person shooter Metroid, which everyone grew to love.
And it's going to feel good that it's back on like an actual controller.
Yeah, man.
Not some weird shit.
Hopefully, right? Yeah, they're going to be punching at the fucking Metroids. And then Ubisoft had their conference, and just to kind of wrap it up, we kind of mentioned it a second ago, but I did stand in line for, I want to say 45 minutes or so for Mario Rabbids before I had to leave for the Monster Hunter demo. I think it was Monster Hunter, or it was one of those. It might have been Spiderman.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Spiderman. Spiderman.
And that line was not moving. They had only 2 stations set up for Mario Rabbids.
Which doesn't make any fucking sense, because they had some at the Ubisoft booth, right? But they only had about like 6 just set up. And then they had 2 extra at Nintendo.
Like, they should have known that was going to be a much more...
Everybody's going to want to play this game.
Yeah, I wanted to play
it
so badly.
And especially since it's a strategy game, you know it's going to take a little longer.
Right.
Like, they didn't really have their shit together, but...
No.
That looks really cool.
It looks good, though. I mean, I've seen a lot of mixed reactions about it on the internet, but I'm kind of
people saying, like, Mario shouldn't have a gun. Like, bitch, he throws fireballs.
I know.
Like, shut up.
It's fine.
Shut up.
They also made it, like, super, like, comical with a huge cannon thing, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I mean, especially for, like, a handheld device, I probably consider myself, or I'll probably see myself playing this game more on the go.
It looks fun.
It looks like XCOM with Mario in it. Like, that sounds great.
If you're into those 2 things, then buy it.
Yeah. So they also showed off Assassin's Creed Origins, which we got all 4 seconds hands-on time with.
Yeah.
Before someone kicked us off the booth.
Yeah. So we were playing Project Cars at the time, and they had the section like cordoned off. Like the whole Microsoft section was cordoned off.
Right.
But they were just like, yeah, if you just want to play these games, you can just walk up to them. So that's what we did.
Yep.
And Assassin's Creed, there was like 4 open. We were like, oh, let's try it out.
Yeah.
So like I had Paul's camera. I'm like ready to like record him, and then Paul starts playing. Guy kicks us off. He's like, were you guys standing in line? We're like, what line?
Yeah. He's like, there's 4
He's like,
stations.
oh, that line, like all the way down there. It was like,
and then a lady walked over like, oh, you have to be in the line. Like, oh, the line for the 4 empty stations?
Put somebody else on here then. Like, what the hell are you guys doing?
So I got to take all 3 steps before someone came, and it looks great. The 3 steps
funny.
were really beautifully animated.
They really thought we were trying to scam them. It was like, get the fuck out of here.
Whatever. Anyway, and then they had Skull and Bones, which I'm not... Again, it looks cool. I guess it's like kind of an extension of the Black Flag mechanic of like ship combat.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I'd rather play like I forgot what it's called, Dreadnought. That's coming out. It's like a space ship fighter.
Okay.
And that's kind of the same kind of system. But this looks really nice though.
It does look really cool.
Like it looked really cool. So I would definitely check that out if you're into like maritime shit.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, Beyond Good and Evil 2, which they showed this like really incredible cinematic trailer
fucking
for.
Weird as hell.
Nothing of the game. And then I remember listening to Jeff Kanata, again, shout out to the God. But like he was talking about on his podcast, like, yeah, they just showed the trailer and then they were like, we need your help. And they were like, what do you need from us?
Yeah.
What kind of help do you need? And I felt the same way. I'm like, oh, you need like play testers or like what?
Money? Like what?
Y'all need us to give you some like $5 or whatever. You got a Patreon?
Yeah, word. It was a little vague and just I mean. Stop doing that at E3. Yeah. Like, no one wants to see a trailer unless it's a kind of game we kind of knew was coming. You know, like...
Right.
We don't know what to expect from this game. I guess it's just to build excitement for it, but...
I mean...
To have a call of action at the end is weird.
Join us. We'll tell you about later, I guess. I guess it's sort of like the same thing we talked about with Nintendo. It's like, guys, we're working on it. Shut up. We're okay. Just like, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Then Bethesda had their thing. A couple of highlights for us were the Doom VR. I think looks really cool.
It's cool.
You kind of teleport from station to station. I probably won't be able to play it because I'll probably puke. Fallout 4 VR. That's cool if you like Fallout.
That looks really cool.
You played some Fallout.
I love Fallout.
Yes, maybe it might get you into VR.
Maybe.
Skyrim for Switch. Hey, why not? Well, although I gotta say though, when they played the trailer and they showed like the Link armor, I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, you were like, "I gotta get this." Yeah,
I'm gonna probably buy this.
I mean, I love Skyrim, man.
Yeah.
I played the fuck out of that game.
I didn't play all of it, but I did like play a little bit of the beginning. So maybe.
But I just don't know how they're coasting off this game for 7 years. It doesn't make
game,
sense.
Man. It's a huge game. It's kind of like I guess a Minecraft in that sense.
I guess so, man.
Oh, we didn't talk about Minecraft.
we're talking about that when we get down to what we played.
Yeah, so, and then Wolfenstein 2, which kind of inspired me to get the first Wolfenstein for $10.
Wolfenstein 2 looks incredible.
It looks so
good. It picks off right after the last game, and your spine is broken, and you're just a robot now, or enhanced.
Sold.
And, yeah, I mean, the Nazis win. Now let's fix that.
Let's fix that shit.
Yeah.
Apparently a lot of alt-right motherfuckers were, like, not all right with it.
Are you serious? That was actually pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That was off the cuff?
That was off the cuff. I did not plan that. It was not in the show notes.
That was pretty good.
It just kind of came to me, you know what I mean? But then, so then on top of those games that we played, there were some that weren't kind of in the conferences that we can kind of go over briefly. So we did get a demo of Harvest Moon for the Switch.
Yeah, a lot of you guys requested that. So.
Yeah. It looks good. It looks kind of. It's a very interesting art style. It seems like a kind of extension of the ones that are currently on the Wii or Wii U, rather.
So the cool thing about this one, the art style is the head over the, what do you call that? Is that isometric?
I guess it's isometric.
Kind of isometric, top down kind of view. But now they streamline a bunch of shit. So it gets people like if they haven't really been into these farms kind of simulators. This is kind of the one for you because it's easy, low bar of entry. So if you want to dig, it'll know that you want to dig. You don't have to take out your trowel. If you want to chop down a tree, you don't have to take out the axe. So it kind of like cuts down a step, which a lot of games need to do. I hate going into my inventory and pulling out one thing just to do one action, then switching to another thing. It's just a smarter way to play. I don't know.
Yeah, it just speeds up the process. It also makes it easier for people who haven't played in a while to jump back into.
It's the same thing like in Monster Hunter, which we were mentioning. Like you don't have to take out your bug net. You know, if I have it,
let me hit A. Bro.
Yeah, let me just press A. Yeah. So that looked really cool. Kind of interested in that.
And then we also got some hands-on time with Yakuza 6.
They had their illest setup there, man. That was. That alleyway was like a representation of like Shinjuku,
I believe so. I think
I saw like something online of like the actual like place that they kind of got the inspiration from that.
They had this little alleyway
with the system set up. So they had Yakuza 6 on one side
and Yakuza Kiwami.
Yakuza Kiwami. I don't even know how to say that. But
you got it.
They had that on the other side, and you can just kind of walk up and play. And that was a really nice booth.
Yeah, I love that booth.
It was really cool.
And they were giving out these giant Yakuza 6 bags that we got a chance to get.
It's kind of insane.
I'm keeping it. I put it up over there.
I'm giving it to one of you guys. I don't know who. But let me know who's the biggest Yakuza fan.
Yeah, in the Discord.
Yeah. And then also they gave like after your demo, what you think about it first?
Okay, so first off, it looks so Yakuza 6 looks gorgeous, especially having come off the heels of Yakuza 0.
So I couldn't tell the difference because I never played. So
it looks so Yakuza 0 was basically just like an HD remake of the or not HD remake, but like a port of the PS3 version. It still looks really good. It still looks really pretty, but this is like from the ground up. The guy told us it was a brand new engine. So I remember asking him like, "Oh, can I switch fighting stances?" He's like, "No, it's all incorporated into one. You kind of do different combos, whatever, to kind of execute those different stances." But it looks so beautiful. Like the effects, like the reflections, everything, the facial animations, the fighting animations look so brutal. Oh, it's so brutal.
Yeah, you get these like cool moments where like you do like a combo and then it'll finish it up with an animation, and you just see like the slow motion, just like. Blood, and it's really dope. It's brutal, man.
There were times where you could kind of like you knew it was about to end because you could see his life meter going down, so you wanted to like show off a little bit. So I would like do some crazy combo or like a grab move. It just looks so good, man. I mean, overall.
Side note of that experience, like Paul was playing. I had played earlier that day, so I had that was my first Yakuza experience, really. But Paul was playing, and we had two people at the conference,
two fucking weebs
just behind us, like, oh, do this, go here.
I was like, yo, shut up.
I know a lot about this game. And he started speaking Japanese. It was like, these are like nerdy white dudes.
Yeah.
And they were like, he was like geeking out. Like, I understand being a fan, but he was like kind of like interrupting our shit.
Yeah, like you're fucking up my vibe right now.
Yeah, you're
like,
fucking me up.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
But the game itself is amazing. I cannot wait for that.
We also got a pack of tissues,
and he handed it to us like they did in the game. He was like, oh, there you go. So yeah, that game looks amazing. We got some hands-on time with Project Cars 2, like we mentioned a second ago on the Xbox One S.
Which track did you pick?
I forget.
The running start one?
Yeah, the running start.
Okay,
the guy told me, he's like, oh, it's a running start. I'm like, I know what a running start is, bro.
He said the same shit to me.
He's like, you're going to think it's a race, but you're not racing. I'm like, I know what it means.
I was like, I understand that I have to stay in my position.
Yeah.
I know what pole position is. Like, Yeah, it was. I understand because probably people just like fucking, and then they have to restart the race or some shit.
God damn it.
But I was terrible, but it looks great.
Yeah.
It handles really well, especially coming off the heels of EA Play where we got to play Need for Speed.
Oh, right.
So I know I said that I'm not really into sims, simulations, car simulations, but this is kind of like where it's at.
Yeah, I feel like this felt really good. And also the fact that the sun, and when you start the game, it's like, I guess in the afternoon, and then over the course of however many laps you do, the sun starts to set, and until it's like basically night.
Like as you're coming across the finish line, you see it like
really at
the
and your
horizon.
Lights have to come on.
It's
so
really
cool.
Beautiful
like atmosphere, and I thought it controlled really nicely.
It did.
I was doo-doo, but it took me a couple laps to get
like
good.
26 out of 30. It was like terrible.
I was a little better. I got like 10 or something. So that was cool. We also got some hands-on time at the Bandai Namco booth. We had an appointment there, so we got a behind closed doors look at like kind of the creation of Kuni 2 and like what's going on with the story. Also, who's involved. So like Joe Hisaishi is also involved, who's done all the music for pretty much every Studio Ghibli movie. So if you know that name, you know that you're gonna get some.
And it
bangers.
Definitely has that feel to it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, it is gorgeous game.
Character designers also did all the Ghibli movies for the most part. But yeah, the story's really cool. It's about a boy who's become a king all of a sudden because I think the father had passed away.
Yeah, his father got killed or something like that.
Yeah, because it's like that lizard or the frog dude who's trying to become whatever. So it looks really cool, really beautiful. I got some hands-on time with it, and it feels really solid. It feels like an RPG that I would definitely get my like hooks into or get its hooks.
And it's an action RPG, so it's the same vein as like Final Fantasy 15
or like Kingdom Hearts. Like that.
Yeah.
And I watched Yang play a little bit of the first one. She didn't finish it, but it makes me want to kind of go back and brush up for this game. I don't know if the two worlds kind of deal with each other.
No idea.
No clue, but it looks beautiful. It played really well.
It actually piqued my interest, so like I'm not into those games at all. And this looked gorgeous. It like just really cute. You have this little sprite that's with you, and he's like a little goop or something. I don't know what the fuck he is, but he's mad cute.
It looks really cute.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
And then you got some hands-on time with Dragon Ball Fighters with a Z.
It's kind of a dumb name, but got to play it at the Bandai Namco. So we got like a behind-the-scenes little tour of the game first. And they told us how the animation kind of works. How they overlaid certain graphics, which is really interesting. Really fucking cool, man.
It is cool. That they're applying some sort of filter to the characters themselves. I think when they kind of go up close, that they're calling it like a 24 frame filter, which essentially the game itself runs in 60 frames. So it's really solid, really fluid. But then when it cuts, I think, closer to them or their facial animations, it's
the overlay of the actual characters are 20 frames because the anime was actually shot in 20 frames.
Yeah, so it looks cinematic.
So it looks crazy.
So it does this really cool blending of like, it looks like a cartoon, but then it jumps into video game seamlessly. I think it looks gorgeous, in my opinion.
It's really hard to explain because the first thing you see is like, oh, is that cell shaded?
Yeah.
But it's not really.
It's just like a really cool technical thing that they're
really
working
cool.
on.
And I played that. I got one match in with a random person, and
he busted ass, yo.
Yeah, I did pretty good. But it's really cool. If you're into like Street Fighter and you know how to throw out a Hadouken, you're gonna be able to understand this game.
Yeah, we actually got a chance to talk with someone on our way to Crackdown 3, and he was also hyped about it. He's like, this is my one of my games of the show.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna get in on this game when it first comes out.
Nice.
It's a cool setup. Like you play as 3 characters at a time, and you can swap them out like tag mode. Very reminiscent to Marvel's Capcom. So I'm really looking forward to that.
It looks so good, man.
After that, we got to see Matterfall
on PS4.
Which was the creators of Resogun, right?
Resogun, yeah.
Which is kind of cool that's coming back. So basically, it's Resogun, but you're a dude.
Yeah, it's like a Metroid style, like Metroid meets Resogun.
It reminded me of that one game that Orson Scott Card,
Shadow Complex.
Yeah. Which recently came out with like a HD remake.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So it definitely felt like that to me. So I love those type of games where you can, Metroidvania games.
It also had like an Ikaruga mechanic where you have to switch to this other state that propels you through these obstacles, but it can also freeze enemies, and shield you from their fire.
So a lot of times you can't even like hurt an enemy until you freeze it.
And it's all done with the shoulder buttons,
which felt really good.
Strange.
And it felt weird. Like it felt weird to start, but then you just kind of get. It's kind of natural. It was weird. So you like jump with R1, you shoot with the other one, you dash with the other one. and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
and it was great.
I liked it. I thought it was great. I can't wait for it to come out. And then we like walked by and kind of jokingly were like, "Yo, Knack 2, you want to play Knack 2?"
Yeah, the line was short, so we hopped online and we were just like kind of making fun of it because it was like kind of ridiculous. But on our way to Knack 2, like we were just standing online and they had a character.
Oh my god!
Like a guy in a Knack suit. And he was amazing.
He was crushing it.
He was really.
He was like running up to people. He ran up to my camera a couple times.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So yeah, shout out to that guy. Whoever that guy was.
But we played it and we had a fucking ton of fun. Me and Paul were giggling.
like oh my god! Like teleport to me.
Yeah. Like when they have this really cool mechanic where like if you fall off the map and you're playing with someone, you can just kind of hit the teleport button. And instead of dying, you can just go to their location.
Right.
So there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah, it seems like it's fun. I feel like it seems like it's going to be a really great couch co-op game.
Yeah.
Like I did not expect to be like smitten with Knack 2.
Game of the show.
But like shout out to them for sticking with Knack 2 and like kind of sticking to their guns and making sure.
Weird. Yeah. It's weird because like we don't need that. But maybe we do.
Maybe the world does need another Knack.
It looks really good too.
Yeah,
it looks really good too.
And then we got a chance to get some hands-on time with Sonic Heroes.
Finally, on day 3.
On day 3, yeah, like kind of at the buzzer. What did you think of Sonic Heroes?
So Sonic Heroes has had like a 3 option setup. So you can play like kind of classic Sonic with the overlaid skin of like new shit, the new graphics, just basically like side scroller. And then they had like a Sonic Adventure type of scenario where you're playing as Sonic and you can kind of do the Sonic Adventure thing. And then the third one was the created character one, and that's the one I did. And it's basically like Sonic Adventure, and you're just kind of running along, and then they do the thing where the camera's facing you and you're running from the whale, basically.
Okay.
But I was running from a big robot.
Okay.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah, I gotta say I was pretty disappointed because I feel like I've played this before and I've not had a good time with it. So like I got a chance to play 2 of the modes. You're only allowed to play
you're
one.
only allowed to play one, but Paul's a little sneaky
snake. So I got a chance to play 2 of them because fuck the police.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to play the like whatever it's called, like the original mode, where it's basically like the camera's behind Sonic and you're moving forward. And I played that before, and I've never really been a fan of that. Like I feel like it gets really fast, but if you miss that one like pre-targeted thing, you have
like
to hit A on.
Sonic Adventure mode, kind of.
Yeah, sort of Sonic Adventure mode. So like you have to like hit A to like zoom in and hit the guy, then hit the other one. But if you miss one of those and you just stop, it just like goes so flat. And if you get stuck on a jump, like you're in a corner, like it just completely takes the
That's a big problem with that game in general.
They cannot seem to figure it out, which sucks because and then it'll go sideways. And sort of that same thing of like they're so obsessed with going fast, and I think that was like kind of the major selling point for Sonic a long time ago, was they just cannot seem to let go of, or at least they can't seem to figure out a good way to iterate on that. And the same thing happens where if you miss that jump or you miss the little boing thing, like it becomes like tedious work, and you have to try to do it. Then I played again like the classic mode that you mentioned, where it's like a side scroller, but it was just a boss fight. That one was kind of fun, I have to admit, but it wasn't like mind blowing. Like I played the thing with Dr. Robotnik where you have to like hit something back at him or like jump and hit him 3 times. So it's Sonic. It's funny that we're getting 2 Sonic games this year, and the one that I'm looking forward to more is like the 16-bit era one.
Yeah, I kind of wish we would have played, what was it called? Sonic something else.
Mania.
Yeah, Sonic Mania. That, I wish we would have got on that line.
Yeah, seriously.
But I wanted to try something new, because, I mean, you know what to expect from that.
Right. You know it's going to be good.
You know it's going to be good, yeah.
And I've heard it's good, so that's great.
That's pretty good.
And then after that, we got some Minecraft hands-on, specifically a cross-play, sort of like PvP mode.
Yeah.
So they had a row of like 5 PCs.
Yeah, just about 5.
And then 5 consoles.
Yeah.
So we were on the console side, and it was kind of like a sort of Battlegrounds-ish mode where you had to like
it was like Battle Royale, yeah.
Yeah, had to like find shit, like equip it, and then like just kill the other team. And then they had like a final deathmatch mode,
which was really fun.
Just before that kicked in, I found like gold armor and like a gold axe.
I found a gold sword,
bro,
and I killed 2 people in that mode, and I was like, that's the only kills I got. I kept getting killed in the regular one.
So right before the deathmatch mode, I got teamed up on, but I was all gold like shit.
Gold everything.
I like killed the first dude, and you could and you could hear like the voice chat of everyone because we all had headsets on, And I could hear them like no, and I like killed the other one, and then they went into deathmatch mode, and I still had all my gold shit, so I was like beasting, and the final score wound up being like 55-50 or something. So we just like came back from a
Paul kind of
deficit.
like put the team on his back.
Put the team on my back though.
It was nice. I just pushed a guy into like the lava, and he just like burned to death. And I was like, all right.
And then we played some Crackdown 3. We got in line for Crackdown 3. Yeah. Crackdown 3, in my opinion, looks a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to fucking play this game.
Yeah.
Like, it's returned to form. Crackdown 1, definitely getting those vibes. I didn't play 2, so I don't really know how that kind of played out. But, so you get, like, 8 minutes to play?
Yep.
And do kind of whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
There was, like, a challenge, right? Like, you had to, like, upgrade all 5 of your skills?
All 5 of your skills. So you do your agility, your weapons hold, like... Combat, your regular melee combat, your driving skill, and then your explosive damage. So you can do that all together. So the first thing I did was go for the agility orbs because I love that. I love jumping high. I love running fast.
Yeah.
Being like a superhero like that. And then I worked on like my hand-to-hand combat and my explosive skill. So the cool thing is if you get like a rocket launcher and you shoot and you kill people, it works as explosive skills and your firearm skill. So that's what I was using. I wasn't just like blowing shit up like with my fists or some shit. And I would just fight. So I got like 4 of 5 to level 5. No, I had 2 in level 5 and then the rest in 4. And I was like, I was so close. And you could like win something or some shit.
I gotta say though, the controls still feel a little old.
There's a little something like there that's not.
Yeah. The shooting.
I think it's just so fast.
Yeah,
because a lot of it, I was like, I can't land where I want to.
I was doing a lot of like twirling, like landing in like a little kind of tornado pattern.
I was getting pissed because like I got all my agility orbs. I was like level 5, so it was the highest I could jump. And I was going up to this building to kill a bunch of dudes. I was like going to the very top of the building, and I just couldn't land on the steps that I needed to. And every time like I would move too fast. So maybe they need a little tweaking there. I hope they can get it kind of under control before it comes out, or at least patch it. But
I mean, it's still fun though.
It looked it was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
I like killed it.
And then shout out to Jeff for hooking us up and spending an hour at the Annapurna booth. Yeah, for real, really appreciate it. So we got a chance to check out what Annapurna Interactive is coming out with. And so there was a few games that you might have seen during the Xbox conference. A lot of these are going to be Xbox and PC exclusives. So we got a chance to get hands-on time with Ashen, which was kind of that cooperative, like dungeon crawling kind of game,
which is cool because
it's really cool.
It'll pair you up with someone, kind of in the same vein of Journey, and you could like just kind of randomly pair up with somebody.
Yeah, and then like he was saying that there was like a really cool implementation of like cinematics happening to each person at different times, so you can definitely not miss something. Which is really cool, and it was like really atmospheric, and we kind of like we actually beasted on one of the bosses. Like the people were like, really "Oh impressed. Shit!" Like, actually, like you guys are the only people that did it well. And we're like, no, they're probably just bullshitting, but
weird.
But yeah, it looks really cool. We also got a chance to play The Artful Escape.
Oh my god!
Which by the trailer for the Xbox conference was like this really trippy like guitar dude, and it's like he's platforming.
Yeah, it's enough to pique your interest, but it didn't really like do anything for me. Like I was like, oh, it looks cool.
Looks cool. Yeah.
But when you get your hands on it, man.
I was blown away.
Seriously, man. I mean, I don't think there's any other fucking the way to explain it, man. Like, it is gorgeous, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have like a to be announced release date, but where they're at right now, this game is gonna be the shit. I can't wait to play it.
There's some really cool. So just to kind of go through the demo, like so you start off and you're kind of in this like intergalactic other world between world space.
Yeah.
Really like trippy, and it asks you some questions about yourself, like how do you like what's your name, and like it gives you these like 3 options. So one is like Lord of the Fallen Stars or something, and like all these like really trippy answers. So you kind of choose, and I'm curious as to how that gets implemented into the final game, because does it like kind of alter your path? So you answer these questions, and then based off of that, I think the characters also interact with you differently. So and then the kind of one of the first things that they teach you is like, so you have a jump, you have a double jump. And then if you tap A 3 times, on the 3rd time you hold it or you tap it.
You just tap it.
You tap it.
And
he starts to like shred, like guitar solo shred. And he like kind of just glides down.
So on your triple jump, on your 3rd jump, he takes out his guitar and he just like fucking starts it's fucking great on some Bill and Ted shit.
For real. And then you just kind of like glide down, like sort of like that Yoshi glide after he does his 3rd jump, or it's a double jump. And and then eventually you run into these monsters that instead of like fighting them, you just play music with them.
Yeah.
Sort of like Simon Says style music.
Exactly.
So
it's just like Simon. Yeah.
Simon. So so they'll play something, and then based off of the mapping of the colors of their like whatever their face or whatever, your set, like your stage will kind of appear around you, and then you start to play whatever you need to play.
Yeah.
And then, but there are these like beautiful soundscapes, and like the area behind you is like all snowy, and there's like reflections of the stars,
and the glitter, the way it shimmers, and you like the moon or star will pop out, and like kind of hit the beam.
It's so
crazy,
pretty,
and you're in like in the snow, and like,
and the music was actually pleasant. It was like really nice, kind of like. We talked about it with Edith Finch, like another game from Annapurna, but like that sort of sublime, like. Whoa, like this feeling you get when you play this stuff, and it felt really like calming and sublime at the same time.
It was really nice. I kept like giggling, and like it was beautiful. It was just
great sense of humor too. There was that one moment that I forget what the quote was, but it was like, why do you make art or something?
Yeah. It's like, why do you make art? And it gives you 3 choices, and then it's like, no, we don't make art for whatever you picked. It's like the reason, I forgot what it was directly, but it was like basically like. It's not the artist's job to give people what they want. Yeah. It's to give people what they couldn't imagine. And I just thought that was beautiful.
It was like, I kind of needed that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the camera like it's still there. Yeah. I kind of needed that. Like it was very like, it was a very nice break from the E3 show floor, because they had their own kind of booth. It was quieter in there. It was like separate from the action. Yeah. And then you could put headphones on and just like kind of just
chill
zone out.
And kind of like take it at your own leisure.
And like that moment, I was like, oh man, like I need this game. Like it's gonna be a game that kind of makes you ask questions about yourself, and like
this is gonna be a must buy
for sure.
I'm gonna be raving about this for so long because it hit really well. Like from like the demo doesn't know, like the trailer or whatever gives no justice.
I told the developer that I was like, yo, that trailer like no offense,
no offense, right?
Like I say this respectfully, but that didn't do it any justice. And I feel like a good game is that, right? It's like you see the trailer and you're like, oh, that looks cool, but then when you play it, it's a whole different experience.
You get a thing and you're like really excited about the trailer, but it's only that,
right?
You know, it's nothing. You don't get anything extra. And this gives you everything extra, like anything that you can like. That you weren't expecting, it gives it to you.
I think it was good though that the trailer was kind of like, like what the hell was that?
Right.
And even the trailer itself had a sense of humor of like, it'll be ready when it's damn well, it's damn well ready. And then we played a game at a PC. I think it's coming out on Steam and iOS. It's called Donut County, which right before I put the headphones on, our homie Jeff was like, oh, by the way, it's like a thinly veiled metaphor for gentrification in LA. And I was like, huh? And then he's like, have fun.
Have fun.
I put my headphones
basically.
on, and then I'm playing this game, and it starts off like in this kind of desert area, which you assume is like Mexico. And you play as a whole, and you are essentially just swallowing things up. It's very reminiscent of Katamari Damacy, where you kind of like, the more you suck things up into the hole, the larger the hole becomes, and then you're able to suck up even bigger things,
like bigger plants.
So it's fun. It's like
bigger buildings at the end. It's like ridiculous.
And then it gets to a point where you are then you take the perspective of characters who have been sucked into the hole,
and you're like all gathered around this fire, and you're talking about your experience of being gentrified, kicked out of your area,
and then there's like shit all around you, like so there's like houses and debris and rocks and tires and cars
and other characters in the background,
and so you're talking about it, and then this one character says, I was able to get my son to safety before the hole swallowed me up. And then you're like, what? Like, I wonder what happened. And then sure thing, the next scene,
the next chapter is you trying to get at you basically sucking their business up, or their household.
So I think you're sucking things up around the house, and then eventually the camera moves behind the house. It's also like a very similar style, the art style to Katamari Damacy, where it's like very like simple and colorful and like very cartoonish. It's sort of meant to be this like obvious metaphor, or not obvious, but you know what I mean. So then you get to the backyard and you're sucking things up, and then you see the kid in an air balloon, and he is attached to the house and to like a large rock.
Yeah, so you can't get to him.
You can't get to him, but there's also a furnace. So eventually, like, you're in the backyard, so you're like swallowing things up. You swallow the furnace, and then all of a sudden you start to see heat coming up from the hole. So you're like, oh, maybe I can use this heat as a way to do something. Eventually, sure enough, you put the heat under the balloon, and then the balloon can't stay in place anymore, and it just kind of releases and it goes into the air, and then you just start to. Then the music gets really somber, and then you start to swallow up the house and everything else around it, and it's like this. It's interesting that they're like tapping into this space because it's a fun mechanic, but the music is somber. And now that I know what the metaphor, like now I know what the game is about,
bro,
it's like I don't want to do it.
Yeah. It definitely was that for me because like it was funny because you got the pitch before you played.
Yeah.
I played a whole chapter, and then Jeff came up to me.
I see what you did there. Bars.
Oh shit. Yeah, that was on purpose. Yeah, so like Jeff came up to me as I'm starting the next one. He's like, "Oh, let me just give you like the elevator pitch of it. You know what this is about." And I'm like, and he tells me it's about gentrification. I was like, "Oh, I don't even want to play this anymore." I feel so bad because it's so much fun to suck up all this stuff and just let it fall into the hole and figure out ways to like maneuver it to get things to fall in there right. And it's really sad. Like it's so sad. I mean, because it happens a lot. We see it all the time, especially like where we live. In Brooklyn. Like, I mean, you know, say what you want, but this is like a very gentrified area. It happens all the time.
100%. Yeah, and it's really cool that it's being explored and kind of spoken about.
I definitely can't wait to play more of this game. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Really, not super deep, but it definitely hit on notes that we're all familiar with. So.
For sure. And I mean, it's really cool that this is coming out of like an indie sort of like a game, you know?
Right.
So yeah, and then I guess at the start of the show, kind of like where we started was with the Indiecade showcase, which had a bunch of kind of indie titles on display, and 4 of which we played were the first one we played was called Tracing Ida, which is kind of like this sort of real life game mixture of like tabletop and I guess what is it? Not augmented reality, whatever it's called, like when you play in real life.
Yeah, no, it was like no system needed.
Yeah.
She, it was, I forgot her name. Sorry, sweetie. But basically, it was about a woman who found out that her grandmother was a journalist for a newspaper back during like Jim Crow era thing. And this big kind of case came about that. Yeah. And basically, you have to like put together what happened. And what happened to her grandmother's career, and like why is she finding out about this now?
Right.
So the first thing that we did is like this big chest, like a big like suitcase, old-timey chest.
Yeah.
And you open it up, and it has like these newspaper articles on these blocks, and you have to put them in order, chronological order. So there's 2 different rows. So there's a chronological order for the black newspaper, and then the chronological order for the white newspaper.
Yeah.
And so the events are happening at the same time, but they have different headlines, and
very different headlines,
bring about different connotations of what's going on.
Right.
So you kind of see that one is kind of painting the picture as is and like what actually happened, and then there's a certain rhetoric
skewed
perspective
we'll say,
towards the other one.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. I've never really felt anything like that. And it kind of made me feel like a certain way. Like it was kind of dark.
It's cool because it's like it's also very educational because it kind of teaches you about the era and like what you're kind of doing. But it also feels really cool just from the sense of like it kind of feels like an escape room sort of thing where you're like putting together these like pieces.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And it was so we so you had to kind of do that, and then we finished it, and we were kind of just sitting there like, are we good? And we like looked over her, and she's like, I'm just gonna tell you guys are right.
Yeah.
She's like, and you guys did that mad fast.
Yeah, we knocked it out.
Yeah, man. So then and then in between the tiles there were these numbers that lined
like
up
little etchings,
right.
Like,
like you would miss them if you didn't look. So and then based off those numbers there was a lock that you had to kind of line up,
and that leads to the next part of the puzzle.
Right.
Unfortunately, we didn't really get like a full like however long it takes to do the whole puzzle, but we had to end it there. But we were really excited about this thing.
Yeah, it was really cool. I left with like really like on a high. Like this is so cool, and the fact that they were also showing it. So this was their like thesis project, I believe, and they've started to kind of take over history classrooms in high schools for like a week, and they've been just playing this game, which I think is brilliant. I think it's like a really great way to again sort of explore these areas through play, which I think is again super important. We're such advocates for play, and especially like in that sort of setting. Like if I had this in high school, like we talked about, like man, if I had this in high school, I would have loved this, yo.
Yeah, it also like promotes critical thinking, right? Kind of thinking outside the box and kind of just like use your brain, like slow down. And let's think about this. What makes the most sense? So they had like 3 different puzzles out. We only got to play the one like chess puzzle, but it looks really cool. So,
it does.
Definitely keep your eye out for that, because I hope they actually keep going on with this and make it a thing. You know.
Same. Good luck to those guys for sure, and those girls actually. So Then we got a chance to play The Big Journey, which I was really interested in because it's surprisingly enough from an Ecuadorian developer.
Yeah, around South American
which
buddies.
Is so cool. So like, I stopped by and I was like, "Yo, are you guys from Ecuador?" I was like, "Yeah, like really? Like we're related, probably." So then they showed off as like this sort of like mythological tale, like I guess during the time of the Incas, sort of like I'm not entirely sure what I could draw a direct comparison to, but they definitely some like Ico vibes in there.
Yeah.
There's like you're on this like
this ancient Ecuadorian.
And,
it's told through like kind of folklore.
Yeah.
And I asked the guy, I was like, are these things that you were told as a kid, or is this something you had to research? And he basically said like, yeah, there's little smatterings of like stories that have been told as kids, but mostly from like historical textbooks, the mythology of the area. So
right,
which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I mean, it was definitely super rough. I think they were like a four-man team, I believe, or something really small.
Yeah, super small.
And they were telling us there's like no real industry out there in Ecuador, so they had a chance to come out here, and they took that chance, which is great. I feel like this was a great opportunity to show this as a concept. Like it's a really great concept. And like the music was there, and they had like this really cool atmospheric, like you're talking to this like giant snake in the water, and it's like really cool ideas, and like floating rocks you have to kind of jump on, and
you're in this lake, it's all foggy, and you have to use sound clues to find your next area, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for those guys, like more so than I am for the game, because like you said, there is nothing like that down there,
right?
And this could definitely be like the spark.
Sure.
This could be the boom.
Totally.
You know?
And if like if they got into like the right support or they got the right publisher or something that could support them, it could become something really great, in my opinion, which is cool.
And then we got to play this game called Cat in the Hijab, and basically you play as a cat in a major city, and you're just on a train, and you happen to have Muslim garb on, and people respond to you in certain ways, and you kind of have like this whole like choose your own adventure kind of situation.
Like
you
dialogue
trees, and you can kind of like respond to them how you would, or you can play a role.
That's crazy.
Which it was kind of deep. So it kind of goes into that. It also goes into transgendered issues. There was a cat on there, and they were transgendered, and you can choose to step in and help them out, or you can kind of say nothing. Like someone they were being harassed on the train. Like, why do you look like that? Why are you dressing like this? Blah, blah, blah. You're a man, that type of thing. And you can be like, there was one situation which I read in an article a while ago, where it's like, if you see someone getting harassed on the train or in the street, just go up to them and talk to them
and ignore the person.
Yeah, which is a really great tactic because it's non-confrontational, and it kind of removes the person and kind of gets them like, all right, well, we get each other.
Yeah,
we're on the same page, and you're in a safe space right now.
And like you're with me. Like we don't have to talk about.
So there's like all those different options, which is a really cool concept. Yeah, I mean, we definitely deal with this a lot, and
it's interesting too.
I like when people explore this in like this medium. So
especially after what happened recently, like I think it was in Portland.
Yeah, Portland.
It's pretty crazy. Like the fact that it's not just this sort of made up fictional thing. It definitely happens, which is unfortunate. But it's good that hopefully this will get into the hands of people who have never experienced it.
Unfortunately, like the creators weren't there because of the travel ban that's going on, which is insane because they made a game about this and they couldn't even show off their game because of such things, which is insane. That's crazy, man. But good on them for actually getting it out here.
Yeah, shout out to Indicate too.
Yeah, and to Indicate to kind of supporting them and getting their game in people's hands. So Definitely. It was pretty cool.
And then last but not least, we also played A Case of Distrust, which is two of the developers were there for this game. I think it was just them that were working on the game.
It was just one dude mainly, and then another guy. Yeah,
and it's dope. I remember while I was it's like this kind of adventure style game where you have to kind of click things in order to figure out where to go next. And there's this really cool art style. It's like is it like 1920s?
Yeah, 1920s San Francisco.
San Francisco.
And which is cool because I was asking the developer, and he was saying like. He's like, we was going to set it in New York, but that's been done a billion times. You're going to set it in Chicago, but everybody knows that story.
But I'm like, oh, San Francisco, cool. Like, I don't know 1920s San Francisco.
We don't, what was going on there. Yeah. And he did a lot of research.
Cool.
And like kind of got everything down.
So yeah, you're like this detective, or I think you're a reporter, and you're kind of piecing things together, like super gumshoe detective style, like noir, jazz, noir vibes.
But it has a really cool animation style.
Yeah, the art style also is beautiful, like very simple, like minimal, and then like can't mention the art style, like the animation in particular. It does this like really cool thing where like it'll animate, but it'll kind of skip frames, and then it'll just kind of stop.
Yeah.
And I remember like seeing it and thinking like, oh man, this reminds me so much of Hotel Dusk, a game that I love for the DS. If you don't know Hotel Dusk, I highly recommend getting it if you have a 3DS. It's compatible. So when I was done playing the demo, I went over to him and I was like, yo, like respectfully, like I don't mean any like shade or anything, but like it reminds me a lot of Hotel Dusk, which is a game that I love. He's like, oh, that's awesome, because that's like a huge inspiration for us, and like we actually like studied the way they like how long the animations were, and I was like, shit, no way, because it's very apparent, but like not like it's a ripoff.
Right.
It's just like reminiscent of it, and it's something that I didn't know I missed until I saw it, and I was like, oh man, that looks so good. I want to see more games do that, and this game is like the perfect setting. Like it has a very similar vibe of like that jazzy noir like style, and it just works. It just works really well. And I'm definitely gonna keep an eye out for that one. So
you said the music was nice too, right?
Yeah, it was like really really nice, just like jazz, really cool stuff. But I guess moving right along to our games of the show. Here's where we're gonna kind of go over everything that we played, or more importantly, like which ones we thought were the best.
Yeah.
In terms of like which are our picks.
So we'll do individual, and then we have our collective. Best.
yeah, for sure. So I can go first.
Yeah.
So my game of the show is I think it's pretty obvious the way I was kind of gushing about it, but Super Mario Odyssey really blew me away. I can kind of see amazing. I've seen a lot of people also started to talk about it the same way that they've been talking about Zelda, where like they didn't anticipate that it was going to be this deep and this kind of interesting for the most part. And the limited time, the 10 minutes that I had with it, I was like, god damn, I want to play more. I cannot wait for October 27th, which I think is when it's dropping. And it's like that's like right around the corner too, so I cannot wait for this game. This is undoubtedly going to be a potential game of the year contender for me, which is crazy to say because like I never thought that two of my favorite games of this year would be
come out at the same time.
Zelda and Nintendo games running on an Android tablet.
So do you think that they staggered? Remember when the Switch was being announced and they released a list of games that were coming out? Do you think they staggered it well, or do you think that this should have came out sooner?
I think they're doing a good job of releasing games, like trickling them out.
Yeah.
I also think that they did a kind of a good thing of like releasing it out early, and then because like, even for me, I'm like I was just starting to kind of like come off the high of like everything that I have been playing. So like Minecraft, and then what was it called? The rhythm game.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
whatever it's called. Thumper.
Yeah.
And then like other games that I've been playing, like I just started getting back into Zelda, but then like all of a sudden like ARMS came back in, so I was like, oh cool, and then it's gonna start to like kind of glide down again, and then it's like, oh shit, Splatoon 2, and then it's like, so I think they're kind of doing a good job of releasing it over time. I think it's also really smart on their end because by holiday time it's gonna be like, here's a system with all these games on it, like it's a pretty good proposition.
Yeah. And these bundles that are gonna
hopefully
be out,
they get a bundle out there. So yeah, Super Mario Odyssey for me hands down was my favorite game of the show.
For me, it was Dragon Ball Fighters.
Nice.
Fighters. And man, just playing. I can't wait to fucking play that game. I've been looking for a fighting game that I can jump into and not get just destroyed. And I feel like I can kind of hold my own. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people that are really way better than me, I'll be frustrated. But this looks great.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Dragon Ball? And like, I just can't wait to see the roster of characters. And you saw the pure joy on my face when I was playing.
Cam had a really good time with this game.
It looks great.
Yeah.
And then our collective
game of the show. Knack 2.
Yeah, Knack 2 wins. Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, man.
Like that.
Yeah, man. I was really like, I was on a buzz after that demo.
Yo. I don't even have words for it, dude.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like this is more than I could have imagined for a Monster Hunter game. Remember, we were just like, we were ready to settle for a port.
Yeah, from the Switch.
Not even just on the Switch, but we were talking about like bring it to consoles, bring this to console. I just want to play this on my TV.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be able to have a constant internet connection and be good.
And like party with my friends.
Be able to talk on a microphone.
Yeah.
And this is here, and it's way beyond what we thought it was going to be.
Yep.
They were working on this while we were complaining. Yeah. And I feel so terrible.
I know. But I mean, it's like a long time coming too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like true.
The last one that was on console was for the PS2.
Yeah, and the Wii U one too.
Oh yeah, true. But that doesn't really count.
Yeah,
that one was trash.
Yeah,
I mean they were both trash, but this looks. I mean,
yeah, man. It's like
I wish you guys could have saw like what we saw. Could have seen what we saw.
Yeah, it just looks so amazing, and on top of the fact that it looks gorgeous on beyond just the gameplay. So yeah, that blew me away for sure. Hands down. Yeah.
And then honorable mention, seriously
though.
Knack 2,
man. Like, we're not fucking around. Like, we actually played it, and we were like, shit was fun.
It was so fun. They do these little cool combo moves where you can, like, punch each other into things. And
yeah.
And you can transform.
It also looks really good. It looks
really nice, I mean, shout out to the animation of when you get your pieces back. It's really cool.
And then the platforming was fun. I never thought it was overly like too challenging or too frustrating.
Yeah, or too easy. Like,
and you do the thing where you have to like switch between small and larger versions, which was fun. It totally took us by surprise.
Yeah, we were like, oh, that was really cool.
Knack 2.
And then we also added biggest surprise of the show. And that was
Artful Escape.
The Artful Escape
from Annapurna. Yeah, that again, like we mentioned before, we saw the trailer and we were like, what is this game?
Yeah, what is it? And
then we played it.
It was everything we couldn't imagine. And it was great.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that pretty much is our 5 picks for our games of the show. And then I guess overall E3 impressions, there were some things we wanted to talk about. We can kind of get into them in the questions segment. So maybe we'll hold off for that. But
okay.
So if you have any questions for us, you can send them over to our email at questions@the-optional.com.
Yes.
And we'll read them on the show. And you can also just hit us up on Twitter and Facebook, or if you're in the Discord, you know what to do. Yeah. We have the questions channel. So Josh Kim starts off with his question, which is best play of the game moment. And this could be in any game.
Yep.
He also linked us a video of him
destroying Reaper. Death from Above, man. That shit was amazing. Yeah. Really, he got like a quadruple?
I think it was 5. I think it was all 5.
Oh, no.
Or not all 5.
Yeah, quintuple.
Yeah. So mine is actually in that same area, which is, what is it? What's that one called?
Kings Row.
Kings Row. At the end there, it's actually one of the first times I played with Josh. I remember as Farah, it's really easy to kind of duck under the entire thing and swing back around and flank them, especially if there's no one behind to like watch everyone's backs. If they're all kind of on that platform waiting for the corner, it's real easy to sneak up on them. So I did that. I kind of like, went underneath and then like boosted above, and then sure enough, I had my ult and I just went like, I just hit it and I got all of them. I got the team kill just by myself.
So good.
That felt really good.
Mine, I mean, I really can't remember one that I was just like, that peeks out at the top of my mind, but it's like Torbjorn. It's just me facing the camera, and it's just like beep, 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 getting all the fucking kills.
Just camping in the corner.
You see that all the time, but I really can't think of it.
Nice. His second question is, what's a disgusting habit you have had, and how'd you break it or try to break it? So you can go.
I mean, I think we're gonna have the same one, but I have a problem of biting my fingernails.
Yeah, me too.
I've gotten a lot better with it recently, and the way I've tried to break it is just be really conscious of it and realize like what I'm doing
and stop and just stop it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard though because I do it when I'm nervous. I do it when I'm anxious, and stuff like that. So.
That's typically when I do it the most is when I'm anxious. But if I'm not anxious, what the main problem is that like. I'm always picking at my nails, so like I'm picking for like it's kind of gross to talk about, but like you said, you just have to become conscious of it. And every time you do it, you go stop it. Also, what really helps is if I'm around Yang, she slaps the shit out of me, so I have to not do it around Yang. Which
just
helps.
Like being aware of like people, you have to touch people, and like people. One of the first things people look at are your hands, especially when you reach out. Yeah, your hands are disgusting. It doesn't. It's not a really nice first impression.
I've made some major progress though. They look a lot better now.
Mine too. Like I got white really good at it. On my nails.
Yeah, nice. Seriously. And also at E3, which was a main proponent of like, I had to buy hand sanitizer because you're touching controllers, you're putting headphones on. I used mostly all of it. Yeah. I was using it after every demo. I was like, nope, not doing that. So Manny writes in, since that game looks amazing, I think he's talking about Mario. What's he talking about? Oh no, he's talking about Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball Fighters looks amazing, and you're getting into fighting games, I think this might be directed to you. Yeah. Would this open up a door for you to finally watch Super? There's currently 94 episodes out now.
Yeah, I definitely want to check out Super. I've been wanting to for a while, but I just don't have the medium to watch it. Like, right. I don't have Crunchyroll.
I got those 48-hour passes. Y'all got
yeah, but the thing is, like, you got to be dedicated to it. And I can only, like, my attention span is like, all right. Even if it's something I really like, I can't binge, like, too much. So
interesting.
But yeah, I definitely want to check it out, Manny.
I mean, to be honest with you, having watched the game, it makes me want to kind of get into Dragon Ball.
I love Dragon Ball, man.
Yeah.
It's great. I even liked Dragon Ball GT. Ooh, sorry.
I have no frame of reference. So
Dragon Ball GT is known to be terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
His second question is Batman versus Darth Vader. Who's your money on?
Darth Vader.
Yeah, Darth Vader.
I love Batman. Batman's probably my favorite comic book character of all time.
Vader just fucking crushed.
Yeah, Vader's just a known badass.
Yeah.
And he's just,
he
has a lightsaber, so.
Yeah, what can you do? Yeah. And then his second question is Conor versus Mayweather. Who's your money on?
Mayweather.
Yeah, it's pretty unanimous. Next question. Steven writes in, are there too many games? That's a lot of money, man.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Yes, there are a lot of games. I think that it's good, though, because there's a nice variety out there. So, like, you don't, like, I'm a big proponent of, like, going for the games that you really, really want to play first, or get GameFly and play the ones that you're like are not so passionate about. Shout out to GameFly, the unofficial sponsor.
You guys want to support us?
Yeah, no, if you guys want to sponsor us, we're totally open to that.
I'll sell out right now.
Oh yeah, it'd be the GameFly corner with Paul and Ken. But there's like, it's good to have a backlog too, you know?
No, I like that too. And right now I'm in that like backlog mode. So there are too many games.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, you want a choice.
Yeah, I remember those early PS4 days, and I was just like,
just be smart. Like, all right, well, my friends are playing this. Maybe I'll get that first, and then I'll get the single player game, or I'll knock out the single player game right now, and then go into the.
Or like what I do, I'm like, I'll play that game eventually when it gets cheaper. I'm not gonna get it right away.
Exactly.
Roman writes in, shout out to Roman. Ways you think they can improve the show for the public. So,
got a lot of thoughts on what's going on.
So I guess first off, just day 1 and day 2 were kind of a nightmare.
So like, we went in day 1, high hopes, full of energy, and we got the wind knocked out of us pretty fucking fast. To be honest, like I was having a bad time. I can say that. Like I wasn't having fun.
Yeah.
It was impossible to kind of move around comfortably, like just walking. Yeah. Just constantly walking, like people are touching your back. Yeah. People stepping on the back of your shoes. You're running into people. People are standing
on their phones, on their clogging up the way.
Yeah.
A lot of like, excuse me.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the queues for games. So the conference only goes from, well, the first day was from 12 to 5:30. The next 2 days were from 10 to 5:30. So that only gives you 5-6 hours to play.
Right.
If you're online for 2+ hours, 4 for like the really popular games, you can only play 1 or 2 things.
Yeah, you had to really make a decision about like what 3 games you definitely wanted to play.
So like for like Microsoft, they had a queue system, which basically like if it's full, you gotta like keep moving and make your way around again. You gotta keep trying to come back around and seeing if you can get in the queue.
Right.
But that was like we weren't having any luck with that.
Nope.
It was really bad, especially like for Sea of Thieves. That's what we were trying to play.
We tried like 20 times to get to.
And you just got to keep making laps around this room, and you're just, it's just really bad.
And you can tell everyone else in the room is also doing the same
thing. Right.
So it doesn't really make any sense. Although on the last day, they did seem to have opened it up to like behind there. Like they extended the line back there, which is okay, I guess. But even for like Crackdown 3, we had to kind of swing by a couple times, and eventually she was like, all right, just go on.
Yeah, just go on.
What really sucked though, and I don't know if there's a solution for this in the future moving forward. I hope there will be, but there were 2 attendants that were there. I think one of them was a team member on Crackdown 3, but the other guy who was kind of ushering people into like the booths or the stations, they were letting in people that were like YouTubers and stuff. They just get to cut the line. Mm-hmm. And there were times where like we were standing in line and you would see like 2 or 3 YouTubers come in and we just had to like, they just skipped the line.
And that's the perks of the trade, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is.
I just wish they had like maybe one specific booth set up for them like that.
True.
Because it's a little unfair that like, especially because we didn't pay any money, but imagine if you paid money.
Yeah, that's the thing. So for the attendees that paid, for the public, I would have had a terrible time. I'd have felt so gypped.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I would have felt so ripped off. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Learning moment for me. And yeah, like it just wasn't set up right. I mean, we had better luck the third day. That was the easier day. I think more people just stopped showing up or went home and we were able to move around. It felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Like it felt like how I thought the conference was going to be.
Right. Yeah.
Like I felt, all right,
you
can get on lines and it's not egregious. Like 2 hour long waits.
I mean, day 3 was the day we played the most amount of games.
Yeah. We played more than we did the first 2 days combined. So, yeah. I mean, they can definitely improve. Maybe I think they should just cut down on the amount of people slots they have open for invites.
Yeah, same. I think that they just need to limit the amount of people.
I think the total was like 68,000.
Yep.
And like it's usually half that, right?
I don't know about the half that, but it should be half of that.
It should be half of that.
I mean, Comic-Con is a whole nother beast which has like almost like I think double the amount of people that go.
But the thing is, you're not trying to play shit.
That's the problem, and I think that was one of the things that, to answer Roman's question, I think that like, one of the ways they can kind of improve that is by like the Battlefront 2 booth, for example, which we noticed when we stopped by just to kind of watch it because we couldn't play it. Their stations were empty for like. There was a timer on the screen. It seemed like it was over 10 minutes long, till the next play session, and the stations were empty, so they were waiting for whatever reason for people to come by. I don't know if it's like an
what they do. They have
like or something.
I think they do it to clean the machines.
Okay.
Like clean like the headsets and the controllers, which I appreciate.
Sure.
That's fine. Once they're done with that, just bring in the next group.
Right.
You should try to at least because you had to sign up on the app. And they have time slots for each. I get that they were trying to of course things are going to not sync up time-wise. Either it's going to run over or it's going to run late. But you should just try to keep it moving.
Yeah.
That way, at the end of the day, you can open it up again.
Yeah.
Like, hey, guys, we're going to open up a standby line.
Right.
That way, we'll probably be able to squeeze 2 more matches in.
Right.
That would help so much.
And then, once the people got to the stations, there was, a trailer that played, and there was a tutorial mission, and it was, way too long.
Why you need to watch the trailer.
Yeah.
And it was, a 2-minute long trailer.
Yeah, it had, the single-player story trailer. It's why do I need to watch this right now?
We just want to play the multiplayer game.
Jump in the game and get the fuck out. So that was kind of frustrating to watch, but that they could definitely do differently. Same thing with, the Assassin's Creed thing we talked about a while ago, which was, why are there these 4 stations opened up and no one's playing here?
No one's playing. Yeah, it was a little frustrating in that regard, and no one kind of knew what was going on. You can tell this was very new for the people who were in the industry displaying their game, and for the people who just showed up because there was no direction. So you can't blame patrons.
Yeah,
you really can't because they were just I really thought I was just going to be able to play this game. So
yeah.
I mean, it felt really shitty.
I saw a Jeff Kanata video that he tweeted out of the line for Nintendo to get into the Nintendo booth, not even in the Nintendo booth. Also people waiting up to 5.5 hours to play one Bethesda 8-minute demo, which is absurd. That's your entire day just to play a 10-minute or less than 10-minute demo.
Shit?
Yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of, I think overall, it was a really great learning lesson for the public and for the industry that things need to change. It's also part of the problem with the medium itself is that you need a lot of things to set up a demo station, a lot of logistical things. You need a monitor, you need power, you need the consoles, controllers. There's a lot of things that are involved, but I think that they could definitely be made more efficient. I think the Sony app, despite its issues, and its issues were mainly because there were thousands of people slamming those servers when they went live, I think was a pretty elegant solution to it. So if if you knew that you couldn't see Spider-Man that day, it was all right, fuck it, I'm not gonna go wait in line in vain. I just can't go. They also had standby lines, which apparently they let people in if other people didn't make it, so that's fine. But I think overall, there definitely needs to be improvements made, especially for the public. We kept talking about it over and over again. If I would have paid for this, I would have been tight, man.
Fucking pissed, man. Spending all that money, which I'm hearing was around $150 to $200 for a 3-day pass or something like that.
That's crazy, man.
And then you're in a city that you still gotta spend money.
Yeah, you gotta spend money to get there.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot I feel that they could have done better because it seems like they were still working off the same construct that they had for previous years.
Right. It
just seemed like they were just all right, it'll work the same, it'll work itself out.
No.
But from what I hear from people's YouTube videos that have been in previous years and industry people, this was a nightmare.
Yeah.
They kind of got it together on the second day. They put up new stanchions and kind of streamline the situation to have more employees telling people what to do.
Right.
Which they need more of that. Just more direction overall.
Yeah, just more efficiency too. Just like, moving people along quicker and whatever. His second question is further thoughts on the Xbox One X now that you have had time to evaluate it and the game's lineup. So I'm actually still planning on getting an Xbox One X this year. I think like the hype that had died down, but I think overall the impressions that I got from that conference itself was that like, and even from the games that we played that were Xbox exclusives, including we didn't get to play Sea of Thieves, but the idea of Sea of Thieves, it makes me want to get an Xbox One X and then spend the money that I was going to spend on a PC on like a really great laptop or something. So it's kind of shifted my priorities a bit, and to be honest with you. And because ultimately I am a console gamer, I do like to play on the TV on my couch. And this is a nice proposition to be able to play some PC games also with, hopefully better graphics and presumably the most powerful console on the market. It's kind of a nice proposition. Is that something that I need? No, I don't need it. I've actually was considering getting the S. I was like, you know what? It's cheaper. It's half the price.
I think that's what they did really well. Microsoft was saying, look, we have this thing that's very powerful. It's very niche. It's for people who kind of already have their shit ready lined up for it.
Right.
If you have a 4K TV, this is good to go. You're good to go. You can buy this right now, when it comes out, whatever. But if you feel like you're not ready to do that yet, all these games will play perfectly fine on the S and the Xbox One. So, I mean, you have your options there.
Yeah.
I think people were kind of freaking out about it, like, oh, there's too much money. I think $500 is fair.
Yeah, especially for like what you're getting inside and
exactly,
like the custom design. That's part of it, right? It's like you're paying for an all-in-one thing.
So now we just have to hope that they give us the support.
Right.
It's kind of like left up in their hands, but $500 is not that bad.
I don't think
to me, for what they are like proposing.
Right.
I think this is what console upgrades are going to be from now on.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be a whole new system. I think it's just going to be like, all right, PS4S, PS4X. I don't think it's going to be.
How do you feel about the games lineup?
I thought it was cool. I didn't think it was anything crazy.
Right.
But I thought Microsoft kind of they impressed me. They had some cool shit that I really wanted to play. I mean, Sea of Thieves probably be enough for me to buy their system, like a system, like what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or that one game we played. What's it called? Sorry, let me just grab that name.
Oh yeah, Riverbond.
Riverbond. No, not Riverbond. We played Riverbond too.
We got to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's it called?
What was it like?
It was that mining game. It was like StarCraft.
Yeah,
that game.
I wonder if that's exclusive. If it is, that could be a system seller for me too.
Yeah, but anyway, Deep Rock Galactic.
Deep Rock Galactic.
That looks really fun.
That looks
like,
dope.
If you're saying that, and I know how like Microsoft is with their like group system, it's really well. So I mean, look, they have a lot of shit lined up. I thought both conferences did really well, but I think Nintendo stole it.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's still the OG, the champion. But here's how I feel about the Xbox One X, and I like it just hit me just now. I feel like the same way I felt about the 3DS when I purchased my 3DS is the same way I feel about the Xbox One now, where I'm like, oh, cool. It's like there's a new model of it out. It's a little more expensive, but now there's like a decent enough catalog there for me to want to jump in now. So there are games that I've missed on the Xbox One that I haven't played yet, like Halo and pretty much every Xbox One X game or Xbox One game. So I'm like, now would be a good time to jump in. There's a decent amount of games. The system is like the best it's going to be right now for now. It'll incentivize me to upgrade my TV and do all these other things. And why not? Why not have a UHD Blu-ray drive player in my home too? At the same time, there's that kind of bonus ad proposition. Or bonus proposition. So I think it's a good time to jump in if you haven't jumped in already.
Yeah. How much was the PS4 Pro?
$400.
So how are you guys not mad at that? Everybody's mad at the $500 point, and it's more powerful than that. Like, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, we'll see how it goes toe to toe. I mean, I feel like, if anything, what we've learned from this E3 is that like games still rule overall.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because we're still talking about like the Xbox One X came out and they're like 6 teraflops and like look how big this Xbox One X dick is. Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool, but then it's like, hey guys, that tablet, Mario.
Yeah, Mario's on this thing and it looks gorgeous and it plays better than everything that you're gonna put out. So shut up. Yeah.
So I mean, so if Xbox can lean into that and sort of take advantage of the hardware, then yeah, cool. I mean, but I'm also already sold, so it's like I feel good about it. Generally, I feel positive. I was kind of confused at why people were so down on it. And then his last question is non-gaming question, but the best meal you had in LA and just overall LA thoughts. Is the camera still on?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, the picture's still on. I don't know if it's still on, but I can't see the light. I can see the picture. Yeah, so best meal in LA for me was KBBQ.
Oh, yeah. Last night? The last night we were there?
No, with Esther and them.
Oh, yeah, that was really good. That was really, really good.
That was my favorite.
You know what? I'm probably going to have to agree with you there. Like, it was much better than I anticipated. Because you always hear people like, yo, it's way better in LA.
Yeah.
But it kind of was.
Well, I don't know if it was just that restaurant. It was a really nice restaurant.
Yeah. Shout out to Esther too, by the way, and John.
Yeah, word. It was great to see you guys.
Yeah, that was delicious, and like the yeah, it was just so good. I can just think about it right now. We also like one day we took a trip because we were like, we're not paying $8 for a fruit cup and like $3 Dasani.
Oh,
or whatever.
True. This is definitely runner up.
So we were like, fuck it, let's go for a walk. So we walked 2 blocks away from the convention center, like really like hidden. Like I looked it up on Google Maps. And apparently it was really good. We walked in, it was like real low key, like you could tell it was like a family owned joint. They had like Telemundo playing on the fucking TV.
Yeah, it was a Mexican restaurant.
So I was like, yes, they're playing.
And they had like $9 specials.
Yeah,
like
but like big ass plates.
Bro, Paul had like 3 tacos.
Yep, steak tacos,
huge rice and beans.
Yep.
All the fucking sauces you want.
Yep.
Same thing with me. I had the steak quesadilla, which was fucking massive, dude.
Ugh.
Each triangle was like a slice of pizza. It was like it was
crazy.
insane.
$9.
Rice and beans. Yep. And the beans were fucking amazing.
But yeah, that was probably my runner up for favorite meal, just because it was just so good, man. And it was like cheap. It was like just exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
The food there and overall LA thoughts. What do you think?
I actually really had a great time in LA. The city was very nice to me. I mean, some of the driving stuff wasn't my favorite. Like, I don't think people, and this is my humble opinion,
I agree.
I don't think the people of LA can drive well.
I agree.
They can drive, not well.
Yeah.
Traffic is crazy. It's not as crazy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, it moves, but there's traffic all the time.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, that's true.
Another thing I don't like is that the city itself, like all around the city, a huge city, not just in the main like downtown area, but it's not car friendly and it's built around cars, which makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
You can't park from this time to this time, that time to that time. You got to pay a toll. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I think that city's just owned by the lots.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like the mafia.
For real, the car lots reign supreme. Valets reign supreme. And
I will say though, driving late night out there is beautiful. It's super nice.
Really nice.
Real cool.
I also love like how different each part of the city is. Like, it's so big that you can get different terrain.
Yeah.
Like where our Airbnb was, we were in like these hills, overlooking the city.
It was nice.
It was sick. Then we went to like the desert, and it was insane.
We did see an accident on the way to the airport.
Oh my God, Paul saved our lives. 6 a.m. driving.
I don't gotta play that GT6 Sport demo. I was doing that shit in real life.
It was insane. So like Paul was driving, and out of nowhere, a car just slammed, like cut in front of him.
Yeah. And
slammed in the car in front of us, and just like the front of their car was just like fucked, and like Paul just like trying to like he did some fucking hitman, fucking not hitman. What is that shit called? Transporter shit. Yeah, and you saved us. It was great. You salvaged the trip, because if I would have had to, I would have missed my flight
on the way back. That would have sucked. Like leaving.
Yeah, I would have had to drop off that car after I dropped you guys off. So imagine if like
that sucked.
And we were so close to the airport too. So
yeah, dude. LA people can't drive.
LA people can't drive. Pros. All right, so this is coming from a cisgendered heterosexual male.
Okay, you got to qualify it.
Yeah, for real, because I know we'll get some like backlash. But the women are fucking mad cute out there.
That is indeed
true. There's mad women, and they're very friendly.
That's true.
Yo, like you can holler at
very, very, very cute women out there. Yeah. Who'd have thought?
Up top game, A1. That was very problematic, but fuck it.
Hey, whatever, it's my show. It's, it's a compliment.
I had a disclaimer before that, but
yeah, it's true.
The people are nice, and it's really cool.
I guess I can kind of go right into feeling it for the week. So that's where we take one thing that we absolutely love from the past week that we've stumbled across that we think is worth sharing. So I guess you kind of bleeds beautifully into yours.
Yeah, I liked LA. I'm feeling LA.
Nice.
It was very different from New York, but yet I can see myself living there. I never really want to leave New York, because it has so much to offer.
For sure.
It's so diverse. But LA is kind of in the same way. Whereas like you can get really good Jamaican food and Caribbean food and, Dominican food. And there you can get really good Mexican food and good Asian food. So and good. Like you see the demographic kind of change that way.
Right.
And it's really dope. Like it's just good to see a different part of the country. And also that dry heat is where it's at, yo.
It's nice, actually.
It's fucking nice. No humidity. No swass.
Yeah.
No swalls.
Very
It was great.
true.
No, I loved it. The food was great. People were fun. I went with you guys. I couldn't imagine a better time. So it was great.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a really good first impression, LA.
For sure.
You impressed me.
I get why people escape there from New York.
100%.
I understand. All right, cool. Mine is sort of, I guess, in a similar vein. We talked about it before on the show, but just the idea of traveling. I think traveling is so important on so many levels. And this was another example of that, of just us kind of getting out of the bubble and seeing another bubble. And just getting to see new people, meet new people, also seeing other people from other states. Like we met that kid from Texas, and we met a couple people from like all around the country, which is really cool.
Word up.
So it's just cool. It just expands your sort of your knowledge and your experiences. I think it's
and you realize how not so different everybody is.
100%.
Yeah. I always thought so, but I think that people who feel like they're in their own little bubble, might benefit.
Yeah,
from traveling.
Definitely.
Just go somewhere different. Be uncomfortable for a little bit.
Yeah, like just save a little bit of money every month, and then before you know it, you'll have enough for a flight to wherever. Not Cuba anymore. Thanks, Trump.
Yeah, we already fucked that up.
All right, cool. So just to wrap it up,
Los Angeles, LA,
and just traveling.
Feeling it.
Ken doesn't have headphones.
I don't have headphones. So I had to look at Paul's mouth.
I'm feeling 1, 2, and feeling it. All right, cool. So I guess that about does it for this week's show. It's kind of a long show.
It's a long one, so
thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Camera cut out like 20 times.
So it might be a little weird.
There's gonna be a weird GIF playing in the middle there. But thanks so much for listening this week. Feel free to email your questions and comments to questions@the-optional.com, and we'll read them on the show. We'd love to hear from you. And again, if you like the show and want to help keep it going, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/theoptional, where you can donate and help keep these lights on.
Yes, too.
Yeah, it really helps us fund the show and kick over some exclusives like the stickers we have. And Sean Bay, we got some stickers coming your way.
Yes.
And our new homepage, theoptionalpodcast.com, is where you can also find the show and share it with your friends. And as always, we can be reached on Facebook at facebook.com/theoptional and Twitter at @the_optional. So until next time, everyone, peace. Also, follow us on Twitch.
Oh yeah, do that.
Twitch.tv.
We're gonna be doing that more. So do that.
Twitch.tv/theoptionalnyc. I'll probably be doing a bunch of Nintendo shit. He's going to be doing PS4 shit. Peace. You are watching The Optional YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and Cam here will personally take you out to dinner.
Wait, that's not cool though. No, it's like I'm not gonna take you out to dinner. Chill. No, don't. I mean, what? No.